surprises, no hourly rate. With decades of experience, they know the law and offer a free consultation. Contact Nauman and Associates in Elk Grove Village, nalawgroup.com. Call 847-593-8777.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
AM 560, The Answer. Prepare to have your mind opened. The lies of the mainstream media are about to be exposed, and the hypocrisy of the left is about to be revealed. This is a revolution in how you think about politics, race, and culture. You've tuned into Black and Right with John Anthony.
I'm coming in hot.
My name is Pastor Lorenzo Sewell. I have the honor and the privilege of being the senior pastor of 180 Church, and now I am with the greatest political mind that has ever crossed the bridge of time, the advocate, the political minister of 180 Church here in Detroit, and also my political mentor. We're filling in for the great John Anthony. Advocate, how you doing, my brother? So glad you're here today.
Oh, man, good to be here, my brother. Thank you.
Now, we see what's going on with Charlie Kirk. We know what's going on in Detroit. We know what's going on in Chicago. We will be on the air for 2 hours in Detroit. Call in 312-642-5600. Chicago, we'll be here for 3 hours. Please call in 312-642-5600. Advocate, everything that you're seeing in our culture, everything you're seeing in politics, can you break some things down to us as it relates to the great Charlie Kirk?
Yeah, I found it very interesting that soon as Brother Kirk was assassinated, right following that, the propaganda of him being racist funneled into the black community. I'm talking about people got images and videos of him and more talk of Charlie Kirk than ever in life. Now, ask yourself this question. How do a white person assassinate another white person and it turns into a race issue? As I tell my community, and I talk about this since it's happened, the same people that put the propaganda out that Charlie Kirk is racist, it's the same people directly or indirectly behind what had happened to him. Because it came right after that. Now, who benefits from Charlie Kirk's death the most? The Democratic Party. Mm-hmm. Because who was the voters being pulled from? The Democratic Party. The second thing, who is one of the biggest voters of the Democratic Party? Black people. So you see who was targeted immediately after his assassination. The black community was targeted. Black people need to understand that liberal concepts is strong. The liberal concept is some of the most racist concepts, and black people don't understand it. Like I was telling the person this, the most racist people voted for Kamala Harris. And my community say, wow, how did that happen? How did the most racist people vote for Kamala Harris? And you had Trump there. Because Kamala Harris wasn't going to have no backbone. They was going to be able to get away with everything with her. And they knew that. The liberals knew that. Trump is a president. He going to move to his tune. He's not going to be bought and coerced behind nobody. So that's why the racist person voted for the black person in this instance. And that's why everything flipped right now, whereas a white man assassinated another white person, and then it turned into a race issue. It's so crazy that law-abiding citizens, I done seen them become desensitized to murder. I'm talking about people that I respected, that I, carried themselves with all the respect in the world. I seen them become desensitized to murder when Charlie Kirk got killed. I'm talking about I ain't never seen in my life. I'm talking about these people that's normally compassionate people. Mm-hmm. But see, that's how strong that agenda is to target the black population. The black population is the second largest population in the country. Now we not the largest, but we the second largest. So, and we the most easy to influence. So that's why targeting us serves such a good agenda, because it gets a messaging out. And now guess what? The whole Charlie Kirk issue is about, let me say this too, I gotta say this. They say 5 teams said that they wasn't gonna get tribute to Charlie Kirk. Detroit Lions is one of them.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
You see that? The Baltimore Ravens is one of them. Now, look at this. Why would these teams not get tribute to Charlie Kirk? Majority teams that's owned by majority white, and all them teams gave tribute to George Floyd, as if, look at this, as if in any other walk of life they cared about black people. But now all of a sudden you're not gonna give Charlie Kirk tribute and you're gonna give George Floyd tribute. Now why would the Lions pull back? Why would the Baltimore Ravens pull back from giving tribute to Charlie Kirk? Because those stadiums is feeding off those black populations. Mm-hmm. And they don't want to offend the people they borrowing from, which is the black cities, but the constituents, which is the people that support the stadiums, is majority white people. So people got to understand, not just black people now disliking Charlie Kirk, but a lot of whites disliked Charlie Kirk in order to make for that to happen to him. And then whites who control the media, Democrat liberals who control the media, that preyed on black people to sell their racist name. Man, that's the sickest thing in the world, my brother.
You know, Advocate, when you first said this to me, I was in the green room. I was about to actually preach with Charlie Kirk in Colorado. And when you said this was political, can you explain to us and explain to those that are listening, and please call in 312-642-5600. We're talking about the great Charlie Kirk and how his death is being politicized as it relates to numbers. When we think about demographics and you think about Black America and you think about the liberal agenda, can you help us understand? And then you did allude a little bit to municipal bonds. You talked about the stadiums, right? If you can allude a little bit to the numbers as it relates to the stronghold that the liberal media, the stronghold that Democrats have on black people, and why they would message to black people about a man that black people didn't even know about essentially until about a week ago. Can you talk about a little bit about the numbers and the demographics?
Okay, so blacks being 48, 50 million of the population, we know we 13, 14% of the population. But our 14% of the population, 80 to 90% of that, the voting of that population, solely directly go to the Democrat Party. So losing the black vote throughout the years, because that's what's been happening, especially the black men been breaking away from the Democratic Party. So they've been desperate, because look at this. When you look at the voting block and you look at blacks who vote Democrat and blacks who vote Republican, the Republicans don't depend on the black vote. The blacks don't give the Republicans the black vote. The Democrats depend on the black vote. And guess what? They win by the hair on their chinny chin chin most of the time with 90% of the black vote. So they can't afford to lose the black vote. So desperation is kicking in. You got Kirk, who, even though a part of his messaging is Christian values, but he also have a whole political agenda, because you see him with shirts that say the government is lying to you. So if you hit a Cladis campus and you wear a shirt to say the government is lying to you, that is a political statement. Not only is it a political statement, it's so much truth into the government is lying to you, because they lying to the people about so much different things. So you see what that do? That's politics. And when we look at his assassination, people say he was assassinated for his religious beliefs. That was a political assassination.
Absolutely.
Totally political.
Absolutely. And that's so amazing, because when you think of it from a political perspective, and you in Chicago and those in Detroit, we want you to call in. Call in to 312-642-5600. Call into Black and Right in America. This is Pastor Lorenzo Sewell. I'm here with the Advocate, Ramon Jackson. And Advocate, you talked about the government lying to us.
Right.
And you have a court case right now about election fraud. We're going to cover that. We're also going to cover everything that's taking place in terms of lawsuits. We know the midterms is in 408 days. In 44 days, we have a local election in Detroit, the mayoral election, and in 1,143 days, we will be picking the next president, but who's counting, right? What would you say to those black Americans out there that are being messaged to about Charlie Kirk and about him being racist? What would you say to those black Americans out there that are being messaged to about Charlie Kirk and him just being, somebody that was, a white supremacist? What would you say to them in a few brief moments?
I would say that this government that's messaging us with this racism is purposely tricking us in order to get us back to the Democratic plantation. I would say to black people to look at what he's saying and understand that is assault on the First Amendment right. We, being the least represented, should be the first people that be compassionate to respecting the First Amendment right and the person speaking of. And when you see a person assassinated publicly like that, shot in his neck publicly in public display for exercising his First Amendment right, despite what we believe in, we should have a concern with that as a people, for real.
Why don't you stay with us? Black and right in America. Pastor Lorenzo Sewell
sees a disturbed individual.
There's a picture of a magazine from his weapon that says "Kill Donald Trump" on it. There are anti-Israel message on some of the magazines he used. There are reports that the shooter may have identified as a transgender person. If this person is who they say, there's severe mental illness at play.
The Scott Jennings Show. Weekdays at 1, right before Hugh Hewitt at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
You're great at protecting your data, but lots of places could still expose you to identity theft. If that happens, LifeLock gives you the U.S.-based restoration agent who will stick by your side from start to finish. Phone calls, filing documentation, preparing insurance claims. Your agent handles it all. In fact, they're so confident restoration is guaranteed or your money back. It's nice to have an expert like that on your side. Save up to 40% off your first year with promo code Beck at LifeLock.com. That's LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250. Micro.
Hey, Chicagoland, your trusted friend Jeff here from JeffBuysYourHouse.com. Over the past few months, I've shared how our veteran-led team serves Chicagoland homeowners. Today, I want to share with you what your neighbors are saying about working with us. Like Mary in Downers Grove, who wrote, "They listened to my concerns about moving from my home of 30 years and created a timeline that worked for me." Or Tom and Carol Stream, who said, "Their team helped me sort through 40 years of memories with respect and patience." This is why hundreds of your neighbors have given us a 5-star Google review and an A+ rating with the BBB. We don't just buy houses. We help people through life's transitions with understanding and care. No repairs needed, no cleanout required, and always on your timeline. Ready to work with the home buying team your neighbors trust? Sell your house to the trusted source by calling us at 630-895-9530. That's 630-895-9530 or JeffBuysYourHouse.com.
The following advertisement includes a celebrity impersonation.
The summer heat in Chicagoland is no joke. And if your old air conditioner is making funny noises, you may already know it's time for a new unit.
Look, your air conditioner, it's a disaster. People are telling me it's the worst ever.
Don't sweat it, literally. When it comes to cooling your home, Air Right Heating and Cooling does it the best.
And they love our country. Beautiful people.
Rebates are still available. Financing is flexible. And at Air Right, installations are smooth and professional with no surprises.
It's beautiful. Some people say it's the coolest air anyone's ever felt. I don't know. That's just what they're saying. It's doing an incredible job. Really tremendous.
Plus, tell them AM 560 sent you and Air Right will give you $56 off any service. Visit Air Right Heating and Cooling today at AIR-RITE.com. Again, that's AIR-RITE.com. Air Right Heating and Cooling. Doing it right since 1959.
It's the show the mainstream media doesn't want you to know about. It's Black and Right with John Anthony.
This is Pastor Lorenzo Sewell. I have the honor and the privilege of being the senior pastor of 180 Church, hosting Black and Right in America. The great John Anthony we're substituting for. I have the greatest political mind that has ever crossed the bridge of time. I have the advocate with me here, Ramon Jackson. He is the political minister at 180 Church and my political mentor. The great Charlie Kirk talked about something that you and I are strongly against. And one of the things is diversity, equity, and inclusion. Advocate, can you talk to us a little bit about some of the court cases we have before justices and why DE&I is something that we are against?
Well, take for instance, Kyra Bolden Harris, our Michigan Supreme Court justice. They call her the first African American justice. Look at her history. She sits on the highest court in the state. Never really tried a case. How did you get to the highest court in the state and you don't try a case?
Terrible.
Now, as a black man, I put cases before justices. I put cases in courts. I don't deal on emotions and feelings. I deal on if a person is adequate and competent enough to address these matters and not sold out. So here it is. All these white jurors was passed over, meaning attorneys, not just white attorneys, white and black attorneys that grinded through circuit court, public defender's office going back years. And they take a lady, basically just got a law degree, and put her on the highest court in our state. We all should have a problem with that. And now, I'm not just saying this because I have a thought. I have put adequate cases before her that I know that she wasn't put there in order to represent the interests of the people. And this is how we get food as a community. You put a black person in a position, bypass all these blacks that's trained and experienced, and whites that's trained and experienced. Quite naturally, it's far more white attorneys than it is black attorneys. I think it's only 3% black attorneys in this country. Probably only 1.some% of them is men. So you bypass all these experienced white attorneys, experienced black attorneys, and you put a lady on a bench. And then now what do you get? You get somebody who don't know nothing about what they doing, and there's so much serious cases going there. So we will have a problem with that. We should have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. Not only that, Garland Gilchrist, our lieutenant governor. Look at him. No political experience, and he's the lieutenant governor. Now you ask yourself, how did this black man get to the lieutenant governor with no experience in politics? Well, put him there for a particular reason. They knew to quiet him down because he was getting too close politically. I have a problem with a system ran like that, whether they white or black. The people should earn a position. Let me say this. When you put a black person in those positions, it makes it okay psychologically to black people to do wrong to them. That's what that does.
Wow.
It makes it okay psychologically to do wrong. So when they seeing Governor Whitmer, because it seemed like it ain't no white attorneys how Governor Whitmer keep appointing all these black attorneys to these judgeships. It's like she passing them, and one would think that that's diversity and inclusion, but that's not diversity and inclusion. That is corruption. Black people, Kyra Bolden Harris, and people that get put in those positions, propelled to those positions without work, they gonna work overtime on messing you up. When a person earned that position, they know they worth. They know what they got. But when you know you ain't earned it, you make sure you know why they put you there and you call it in. So we should all have a problem with it. That's how I feel about that. It should be based on a skill set, based on what a person is. It's crazy because now every time I put a case before the courts, the same with Ketanji Jackson. No experience. Look at this. We done went from one representative in the U.S. Supreme Court. We had Thurgood Marshall, we had Clarence Thomas, and we had Ketanji Jackson. Now, Black people don't have the population in this country to fill that U.S. Supreme Court up.
Right.
That one justice represents our population size in this country. But look at how we done fail as a people. We went from having Thurgood Marshall, who championed landmark cases, making it to the bench to represent our one seat on the highest court in this nation that represent our population. We moved to Clarence Thomas, which ain't championed no landmark cases, but now we move, but wasn't a bold attorney. Now we moved to Ketanji Jackson, and she got no history of doing anything legally sound that help the people out. So this is what this is getting us. That's not helping us out. It's just a black face and no results.
You know, DE&I, it causes a culture, what I'm hearing is a culture of incompetency, a culture of low expectations. Advocate, I think about the mayor of Chicago, black man. We know that Chicago is not a majority black city.
Absolutely not.
He came and he talked about President Trump sending the National Guard, and the first thing he talked about was housing. But Chicago has a $2 billion HUD budget. So if he cared about housing, he could take black people out of poverty. He could take Latinos out of poverty. He could take poor whites out of poverty in Chicago because they have a $2 billion HUD budget. We know they're not obeying Section 3. Advocate, can you explain to us what Section 3 is for my good people out in Chicago that's wondering what we're talking about?
Well, you know, I want to first touch on that issue. A lot of people is under the illusion that Chicago is a majority black city.
Right.
Chicago ain't never been a majority black city. So that's why you have black residents now saying they flipping from Democrats, but the mayor ain't moving in their favor because the black mayors in Chicago got to understand they're not the majority to put a local government in. That's not where their majority power lands at. Chicago will have one of the biggest budgets in the country from a local level, from a city level. Section 3 funding based on the fact that they got population and they always high population of poverty in their entitlement city, that earmark, that awards them HUD funding to be earmarked to their communities. Section 3 is a provision. Look at this. Section 3 is a provision that the civil rights leaders fought for and died. A lot of them died for to make happen. And Chicago is recipients of it. The shame Chicago that rejected the civil rights leaders.
Wow.
But Chicago is recipients of it. And Mayor Brandon can disperse those funds and he can enforce Section 3, but he won't enforce Section 3 because he know that he can play on black people and tell them and blame everything on Trump, and they'll believe it. He say Trump is stopping us from affordable housing in Chicago when he getting all the money for affordable housing. He can stop it overnight.
Wow. We got a caller coming in. Jim, you are on Black and Right in America. Come on, Jim, can you come in?
Yes, sir. It's a pleasure to talk to you again. We had a chance to have a few beers at the Freedom Summit last year, and it was a good conversation. And your talk with John and everybody else was good too. One of my political hobbies here, we have an urban talk radio station here in Chicago, and of course they're all about this stuff, you know, Charlie being a racist and blah blah blah. So I call up and said, you know what, Charlie Kirk cannot, you know, raise your taxes. Charlie Kirk could not arrest you. Charlie Cook could not harm you in any way. All he had was the power of persuasion and his voice that you didn't have to listen to if you didn't want to. Just like if there's a bad show on the radio, you take the switch and go click and you turn it off. Nobody made people do anything, but yet they want to sit there and claim like Charlie's the big boss that can sit there and lock a bunch of people up in a jail. And that's part of the misinformation that people are getting. Right. So I think it's good to, you know, share your talk, and this is the kind of thing that needs to be shared with a lot of folks that are have a little more melon than me, because I think you're absolutely right. The messaging is off, and people got to quit listening to it. So we need people like you guys to sit there and share information so everybody can benefit from a different perspective versus the urban garbage people are getting fed.
Jim, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much. Listen, to Jim's point, Advocate, this is all about politics.
Absolutely.
I mean, at the end of the day, this is about metrics. This is about demographics. Join us again. Listen, we're going to talk about municipal bonds. We're going to continue to talk about this message. This is Black and Right in America. Look forward to seeing you on the other half.
Town Hall News, where conservative voices cut through the noise from breaking headlines to fearless opinion. We report what matters without apology. Written by people who actually believe what you believe. Town Hall tells the stories the corporate press buries, from President Trump to Capitol Hill, from pivotal elections to your everyday lives. Join the movement at townhall.com. Real stories, real reporters, real conservative media.
The military blasts another alleged drug smuggling vessel out of the water.
The president not sharing specific details about the exact location, but posting the lethal kinetic strike took place in the U.S. Southern Command's area of responsibility, a region that encompasses South and Central America and the Caribbean.
That's Fox's Kristen Goodwin. The action is part of an ongoing aggressive military campaign against alleged drug smugglers. President Trump tells reporters his goals for next week's UN Assembly in New York.
World peace. Nobody's done a better job than I've done on world peace. Nobody's settled so many wars as I have.
On Friday, the Senate confirmed the president's last cabinet pick, United Nations Ambassador Mike Waltz. Only 3 Democrats crossed party lines to vote in favor of him. America is listening to Fox News.
Network specialist wanted in Schaumburg, Illinois to provide technical direct support and backup network data, monitor integration with existing network systems, analyze and report computer network security breaches, perform routine maintenance or standard repairs to networking components or equipment, requires a bachelor's degree in computer science, electronics engineering, or information technology, and 2 years of full-time experience in the job or as a network engineer. Monday through Friday, 40 hours per week. Mail resumes to Jonah Uslu, Garrett LLC, 1900 East Gulf Road, Suite 950, Schaumburg, Illinois, 60173. Network specialist wanted in Schaumburg, Illinois. Mail resumes to Jonah Uslu, Garrett LLC, 1900 East Gulf Road, Suite 950, Schaumburg, Illinois, 60173.
Making the switch to a new communications and IT company may seem like a big ordeal, but if you're not getting the reliable support, consistent internet, and secure solutions your company needs, meet Access One, your local Chicagoland IT experts. Access One has been powering Chicago businesses with secure, reliable IT solutions for over 30 years from our headquarters right here in the West Loop. Whether it's VoIP phones, dedicated internet, managed cybersecurity, cloud backups, or 24/7 support, Access One is here for you. Serving thousands of companies from Naperville to the North Shore, Access One is Chicago-owned and Chicago-run, a trusted IT partner for law firms, clinics, tech startups to manufacturers. We'll make the switch easier than you think. Let's talk. Call 800-804-8333 or visit accessoneinc.com. Rated top 5% in customer satisfaction and a Better Business Bureau A+ rated business. That's accessoneinc.com. Tech made personal locally.
It was a typical day. You were doing the usual, but then you met up with a friend at Weinstock Market and Lounge in Woodstock. Wow! The small-town charm and turn-of-the-century building set the tone for a classic outing. Their charcuterie pleased your palate like you never imagined. The Chicago beef sandwich made your taste buds dance. And the hand-selected wines from small vineyards around the world, so perfect. All paired with amazing live music. Weinstock Market and Lounge changes your day from ordinary to extraordinary.
Winestock Market and Lounge voted McHenry County's best wine shop and best of Fox 2 years in a row. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 3 p.m. till 11 p.m. Live music on weekends. Open mic nights on Tuesdays. Enjoy the fresh baked pizza and Chicago beef sandwiches. Wine favorites from Italy, New Zealand, France, and California. And a full menu of handcrafted cocktails. Plan a trip to Winestock Market and Lounge on the square in downtown Woodstock. Mention AM 560 and receive 10% off any purchase.
Unreadable, inconsistent part marking is more than a nuisance. It's a liability. When your part marks fade, your quality and credibility also fade. GT Schmidt helps manufacturers leave a permanent mark on their products. Laser, dot peen, scribe, and roll marking systems. Our machines engrave everything from serial numbers, date codes, certification marks, barcodes, 2D matrices, and logos on metal, plastic, anodized coatings, and more. GT Schmidt laser systems provide high speed, versatility, and durability with non-contact precision. Harsh environment, rugged parts? GT Schmidt pin markers produce deep, reliable marks. Parts small or large, flat or round, we engineer systems to your specific application. GT Schmidt, the name for dependable part identification and traceability, setting the standards since 1895. Right now, save 10% off standard GeoMark Pro lasers and standard Styliner pin markers. Visit gtschmidt.com for the marking machine that's right for you. Made in the USA. GT Schmidt, your mark made to last.
This is Black and Right with John Anthony.
Get on up. It's Pastor Lorenzo Sewell. I'm here with the greatest political mind that has ever crossed the bridge in time. Come on, Chicagoland and Detroit. Why don't you call in at 312-642-5600, 312-642-5600. We've been talking about the great Charlie Kirk, and there's one thing that he championed. He championed this idea that we should be a country that we don't judge people by the color of their skin, as Dr. King would say, but we judge them by the content of their character. And the great Ramon Jackson, he was just talking about why he's against DE&I. He alluded to arguing in front of a judge, in front of a panel. We're going to play this clip right now about the great Ramon Jackson in front of a panel about municipal bonds. Can you please roll the clip?
Versus the mayor of Detroit. Put your name on the record if you don't mind.
My name is Ramon Jackson, proceed plaintiff in this case.
All right. Just tell us why you win. You don't, because we've read the briefs. We know what the problem is. What went wrong here?
What went wrong here is that we was issued a time bar based on the fact that we didn't allegedly sue in enough time.
Okay.
The legal safeguards wasn't provided to us in order to mount an adequate challenge.
So what would you have us do? What would be if your remedy is for us?
Our remedy is to reverse the case back to the lower courts based on the fact that the bigger doctrine was misapplied.
Don't we still have a SESA problem, though, because the bonds are in the hands of bondholders who paid money for them?
The bonds are still in the hands of the bondholders, but us as residents are still on the hook for it. Our homes are still on the hook for it, and our revenue streams are still on the hook for these bonds. So we have two people here that has been frauded, the investors, and then you have the shareholders, which is us, that's going to be on the hook to pay the bonds back.
Go ahead.
That's a case where we took members of our community with me heading it off. We took our city to court. This is a ploy that's going on in a lot of these Democrat-ran cities. They using tax money illegally. This is a voting rights issue. Those bond cases was voting rights cases. A lot of the bonds we sued on was unlimited general obligation bonds. For people who don't know what those are bonds that require voter authorization. So they can't issue them unless they come and get voter approval. And oftentimes those bonds give a municipality the authority to increase the taxes on your homes, which often lead to foreclosure problems, particularly in poverty-stricken communities. So what we did, this is one of the reasons why they cheated. And now also that panel that I sat on, that was a Court of Appeals panel. It was a black lady that was placed on that panel, clearly DEI. Her name was Crystal Robinson Garrett. If you look at the history of Crystal Robinson Garrett, you will see that she don't have a legal history that's deserving of her getting put on the second highest court in the state of Michigan. She was put there probably about 5 days after I filed my appeal in the courts. That case was supposed to be won, and this is why cheating and judges going wild is a major problem in this country, because we had all the facts to show that the bonds was issued illegally, unlawfully. They didn't come to the voters. And this is why, when we was just talking about in the last segment, why a lot of the marinas didn't want to honor Charlie Kirk.
Yes, sir.
Because most of them issued bonds backed by those communities, and those communities is being sold that Charlie Kirk is a racist.
Wow.
That's why.
Wow.
Baltimore Ravens building all bond money to issue, stadium in Baltimore for where the Ravens and the Orioles play. Same with all the stadiums in Detroit. So you would see why they saying we not going to honor Charlie Kirk, but we'll honor George Floyd. And I'm not saying that George Floyd death was warranted. I'm saying that that's not a big deal. That's no different. That's not a martyr in our community.
Right.
And we don't let nobody create a martyr who ain't a martyr, who ain't did anything to be a martyr. Now, why did they do that? Because it was a game to trick black people, to get black people, and they just use black people. So I bring that clip up to show people that this is one of the methods on how they fleece in the communities, and this is the reason why they cheat in these elections. Bonds is a hidden secret society that's operating. It's multiple bonds that's issued by municipalities at one time. Why I say it's a secret society is because it technically take a legal education to know the dealings of a bond. If you ask the average person, especially in poor, impoverished communities, about a bond, they'll think you talking about a bond to get a person out of jail.
Right.
They won't never think you talking about a security bond or a municipal bond. You ask a person about a revenue bond, they wouldn't know what a revenue bond is.
We got a caller on the other side of the break. Thank you so much for joining us with Black and Right in America.
Can you read this email for me?
Of course. Jeez, I wish they could do something for your eyesight.
Me too. But you heard what they said. There's nothing we can do.
When vision loss can't be corrected with glasses or surgery, and hope seems lost, turn to Spectrios Institute for Low Vision. Spectrios doctors specialize in the treatment of vision loss related to eye diseases, such as macular degeneration, glaucoma, and diabetic retinopathy. There is hope, supported by science with personalized rehabilitation plans, occupational therapies, and access technology at Spectrios. Talk to a patient service manager. They'll walk you through the program. Spectrios takes BCBS and Medicare insurance. They also have grants for qualifying patients and offer a Seeing is Believing children's outreach program. Go to spectrios.org, located in Wheaton in a building that says it all, the House of Hope. That's SPECTRIOS.org. Spectrios Institute, the head, heart, and eyes approach to better vision. Remember to keep Spectrios Institute, a 501c, in your estate or legacy planning.
Don't get stuck with a cold shower this fall. Give CenterGuard Plumbing a call. Get a new 40-gallon water heater installed for just $1,195 for standard installation, or a 50-gallon heater for $1,295 standard installation. A proud new sponsor of AM 560, CenterGuard is offering specials on new water heaters. Don't wait. The cold temperatures are coming, and the same can happen to your water heater. If you're having hot water issues or your water heater's over 8 years old, take advantage of this fall special today. CenterGuard Plumbing is Chicagoland's same-day water heater experts. Call before noon and they can schedule your repair or install the same day on in-stock water heaters. They'll even haul away your old one, no charge. You're only a text away from install today. Call 847-406-8883. Mention AM 560 to receive fall special pricing. That's 847-406-8883. Call or text 847-406-8883 or visit CenterGuardPlumbing.com.
You need a construction company, but who?
Call Price
Crosscom, a construction company you can trust that shares your Christian and conservative values. For decades, Crosscom has been doing work in Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, and Wisconsin. Roofs, siding, windows, doors, gutters, basically everything for your home or business, even solar. Quality work and professional services that make you feel great about your decision to work with Crosscom.
Call Crosscom.
630-871-5500. Give them a chance to earn your business. If your repairs are due to storm, fire, or flood damage, you need to
call Crosscom.
They're licensed public adjusters. They work for you, not the insurance company. Crosscom will work to get you the money you deserve, the maximum payout. They know the insurance companies and how to deal with them. They win for you.
Call Crosscom.
Crosscom Construction and Public Adjusters.
This is Dan Lights with Crosscom. You can trust us with your home or business for high-quality work and fair prices. It's the only way we do business.
630-871-5500. CrosscomPublicAdjusters.com.
And now, more Black and Right with John Anthony.
This is Pastor Lorenzo Sewell filling in for the great John Anthony, Black and Right in America. Listen, if you have not gotten his book, Letters to John, boy, you need to grab that book right now. I am with the greatest political mind that has ever crossed the bridge of time, Ramon Jackson. He's been breaking down the bonds. We do have callers. Detroit land and Chicago. I want to go to the first caller here. Mitchell, you are on Black and Right in America. Go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. Great job. You're right on the money about the bond issue because, you got to follow the money. But you know who's not on the money? Okay, you know who's not on, being honorable? And that's Brandon Johnson and our wonderful governor, a feckless governor and mayor that refuses, to bring in the National Guard. Why? Because it makes them look bad. So why the numbers increase, Daddy-O, why the numbers in deaths increase, carjackings, thefts, on Michigan Avenue, on the south side, the west side, on, the northwest side, whatever. It doesn't matter to him. Because you know why? It's better that we support the illegal criminals. It's better that we support criminals in general because you know why? That's a better political move if you're a radical progressive Democrat. So why we pay property taxes, Daddy-O, what are we paying them for? So we have an overweight governor that sits on his ass and does nothing? That's unacceptable. Okay, and by the way, this whole red herring of the perception of Charlie Kirk, that is done by design. It's called manufacturing to consent. To manufacture consent is basically to brainwash people that can't think for themselves. And by the way, they totally lost the message about this. The content of your character, whatever happened to that? You know why? Because most people today can't read. They don't study their history. And by the way, you ask anybody in their teens, in early 20s about Martin Luther King, they'll probably say, who is that? So don't tell me about how great our society is. No, they've become dumber. But guess what they are? They're addicted to one thing. They're addicted to two things. They're addicted to three things. That's their phones, vaping, and marijuana. And that, Daddy-O, is a recipe for disaster. Why you see in Democratic cities, it's going down to a race to the bottom. Not a racial race. No, they're doing it on their own. And guess who's instigating it? Guess who's instigating all this in Chicago? It's the mayor and the feckless governor. And that is where I rest my case. If he had any real conviction for his oath to protect the citizens of Illinois, he would have already pulled the trigger. And by the way, Trump does not need the governor's approval. There's the Insurrection Act of 1807, and he also has Title 10. He should throw that right down the throat of Fat Albert and bring in as much Marines and National Guard to please keep the people safe. Do you hear what I'm saying here, Daddy-O?
I don't know what we're yelling about!
Wow, thank you so much, man. So thank you so much. All right, I got my brother here, Fudel. All right, go ahead, my brother.
Hey, how y'all doing today? Great job, brothers. I appreciate y'all. Hey, I wanna expound on what Ramon is saying about these bonds and get a feel for your listeners to let them know what's going on here in Detroit, Michigan. We have black representation. And these people that's on the city council, our school board, our Wayne County Commission, all three of these entities have major budgets. And when these black people run, they say that they running for the black residents, the majority of the residents. Now, I'm going to tell you, your listeners, if they ever come to Detroit, Michigan, when you get to an intersection, our main intersection here in Detroit, I don't care what side of town you on, it's ran by non-majorities. non-voters.
Mm-hmm.
That's your party stores. That's your gas station. That's a Coney Island. That's a Metro. They got auto shops, tire shops, everything. One of the main reasons why in black communities there's poverty because our black elected officials do not give us back these grants, bonds, and contracts. They tell us that they can't find a skilled person to run a grocery store, a party store, a tire shop. And then when you go down there and you ask them for a grant, they say, why would we give you anything? They give it to Dan Gilbert. They give it to the Fords. They give it to the. So I'm letting people know this is a plot, and we need to watch out for our black. This only not going on in Detroit. This goes on in most major black cities, Memphis, Baltimore, Atlanta, et cetera, et cetera. What is wrong with our college educators, y'all? Why won't they look out for the majority of the people versus the non-majority and then sit up here and look at us when we stupid, when we go down and complain? So I'm trying to get your listening audience to understand how important it is about this voting, about this cheating, and having a good representation. Again, thank both of y'all brothers. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, my brother. I mean, all the points, Fudel, you brought up are so powerful. I want to go to Joe here in Detroit. Come on, Joe, let's go on. You're on with Black and Right in America.
Yes, good evening. Thank you for having me. I'm make sure that I don't have a feedback going on because I was listening to the show on my phone that I'm talking on, so I don't know if I have a feedback going on.
You sound great.
Get that out. Okay. In regards to the DEI issue and the civil rights movement, I want to tie those things together. I refer to DEI as affirmative action because I'm old school. That was the initial effort, was affirmative action. And from what I understand it was a way to account for the racism and discrimination that non-white people suffered in America in their attempts to climb a corporate ladder or gain higher education, etc. And the civil rights movement in itself, I don't know if people realize this, would not have been possible if not for the combination of black and white and other races who contributed.
Mm-hmm.
So now the issue of DEI and affirmative action is being used as a racial divide, especially
Absolutely.
Charlie Kirk and his stance on it. But
thank you so much, Joe. We appreciate you, man. Great insight. See us on the other side. Pastor Zoe and the advocate, Ramon Jackson.
Law firm LLC seeks a legal project manager in Chicago, Illinois. Requires a bachelor degree in business administration, project management, or a closely related field, plus 2 years experience in a closely related occupation. Requires 2 years experience in the following: project and client management software, business analytics, project and case management, Microsoft Office, resource allocation, quality assurance, and financial tracking. Requires 6 months of experience in the following: preparation of pleadings, discovery documents, motions, responses, and research memoranda in law firm setting. 5% travel to conferences and United States client sites upon request. Benefits include medical insurance, life insurance, dental, paid time off, 401k, vision, $68,203 per year. Mail resumes to Christy Brown at 200 West Monroe Street, Suite 2025, Chicago, Illinois 60606.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, doctors Economos, Gavalis, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930, 630-830-4930, or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
right continues. Once again, here's John Anthony.
Thank you so much for joining us. Pastor Lorenzo Sewell filling in for the great John Anthony, Black and Right in America. Why don't you give us a call, 312-642-5600. I'm here with the greatest political mind that has ever crossed the bridge of time, the great Ramon Jackson. Ramon, how would you respond to some of the comments that the callers made?
Well, appreciate the callers calling in. The caller out of Chicago, we've been dressing that National Guard issue down in Detroit, and we find it ironic that our community's been screaming violence and how we can address violence for years, going back to the 60s. Communities such as Chicago, such as Detroit, have actually been paying out their budget, CVI groups, in order to go into the community in order to address crime. It seemed like, matter of fact, in Detroit, they just took ARPA funds, gave it to 7 crime prevention groups because we had a crime problem. What it seemed like to me is, who wants to stop crime? It's the problem. That's what it seemed like to me. Guess what? The Department of Justice was in Detroit under Biden. Ain't nobody complain.
Right.
They sent agents in under Biden. They sent agents in under Barack Obama. Guess what? Barbara McQuade was appointed by Barack Obama as our U.S. attorney. She locked up Democrats. She locked up more young black men for RICO, trumped up RICO charges than anybody I ever seen in my life. I'm talking about RICO charges where people don't got no money. 5-10 RICO indictments going on, and they don't got $10,000 combined. So the problem is, who wants to come in and stop crime? Because it was okay when they sent the federal government in under Democrat leaders. It's okay when they take city funds, when we use majority of our money, our budget money, and go to public safety, but take other money and fund crime intervention groups. The brother it's so crazy because one of the rappers out of Chicago from a gang, they asked him, what do we think about sending troops to Chicago? You know what his response was? G Herbo. You know what his response was?
What was it?
Anything to save the babies.
Wow.
And he from a gang. So now who is saying they don't want the National Guard here? Political Democrat. The residents ain't saying that.
Right.
The black residents ain't. As a matter of fact, the black residents saying flip it red.
Yes, sir.
That's what they saying down there. So who's saying they don't want them there?
Wow. It's interesting how the demonic Democratic Party, which we call them because of what they do in terms of manipulating the mindsets of black Americans, where now here it is. People are saying that President Trump, it's all President Trump's fault. It's all Charlie Kirk's fault. Everything that happens in Chicago that's wrong is Trump's fault. Everything that happens in Detroit that's wrong is Trump's fault. Everything that happens in terms of violence, everything that happens in terms of tariffs. In the next hour, we're going to get into tariffs.
Yes, sir.
We're going to talk about tariffs because what we want to do is we want to give the truth because we believe that the truth will set you free. We want you to stay on with us. We know we only have 1 more hour in Detroit. We got 2 hours in Chicago. Why don't you give us a call, 312-642-5600. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. 5600. Right now, we find ourselves in a very critical position. Some people are saying we need to bring unity into this nation. And I believe, advocate, more than anything, we need to bring truth.
Absolutely.
Because once we bring truth, then you can separate the sheep from the goats. Once we bring truth, we can separate the wheat from the tare. And there are so many people that have been manipulated by the Democratic Party, so many people that have been sold a bill of goods. And when you listen to Black and Right in America, you will listen to the truth regarding tariffs, the truth regarding municipal bonds, the truth regarding whether or not people should send in a National Guard. Don't you want your street safe? Absolutely. Black and Right in America. We will see you at the top of the next hour. God bless you.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, doctors Economos, Gavalis, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidiscipline practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930, 630-830-4930, or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
News, opinion, insight. This is AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago. Streaming at 560theanswer.com on the AM 560 mobile app, or tell your smart speaker to play The Answer Chicago.
Found him in the nick of time. I'm Daria Albinger. Fox News authorities in Glendale, Arizona say a man impersonating a law enforcement officer was arrested at State Farm Stadium, where tomorrow's memorial for Charlie Kirk will be held.
We had a bit of a security scare. The Secret Service confirms they arrested a man who showed up on site here pretending to be law enforcement while armed with a gun and a knife, and he was not part of the security plans. We just got an update from the Arizona Department of Public Safety a short time ago confirming they are now charging that man with a felony. His name is Joshua Runkles. They say he is not law enforcement, and he has now been charged with felony impersonation of law enforcement, as well as a misdemeanor carrying a weapon into a prohibited space. They say their investigation continues. They're looking into his background to figure out what his intentions were.
That's Fox's Bill Mallusion. Attorneys for the accused killer in a high-profile murder case want a federal judge to eliminate the death penalty.
Luigi Mangione is charged with killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson on a New York City sidewalk last December. His attorneys filed a motion with the federal court Saturday, arguing the government prejudiced the case by turning his arrest into what they called a Marvel movie spectacle, including a choreographed perp walk, and with their pretrial comments that if convicted, Mangione should be executed. Federal prosecutors have until the end of next month to respond. Mangione also faces state murder charges, but New York does not have the death penalty. He has pled not guilty to the murder. Jack Callahan, Fox News.
Officials say at least 14 people were killed overnight in Gaza City as Israel ramps up its offenses and urges Palestinians to leave. Hours later, demonstrators in Tel Aviv unfurled a huge banner imploring President Trump to help end the war. It said, "Save us," in big letters. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Tonight, expect mostly cloudy skies with a chance of showers and a thunderstorm, keeping temperatures around 65 degrees. Moving into Sunday, anticipate variable cloud cover with more showers and a thunderstorm alongside humid conditions. Temperatures will reach a high of 77 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
For legal reasons, we must state that the Matrix Bedroom from Penny Mustard is in no way associated with any major motion picture of the same name. Any similarities are merely a coincidence.
It's no coincidence. If anything, Hollywood was inspired by the Matrix Bedroom.
Why do you say that?
Come on, look at the Matrix Bedroom's sleek, smooth appearance, the angled hard lines,
the tapered legs, and inset drawers.
I mean, it is Penny Mustard's most contemporary bedroom.
You could almost say it's neo-contemporary.
Careful.
Solid wood.
Forever tight bed brackets.
And thick drawer bottom strong enough to stand on.
The Matrix Bedroom is a blockbuster.
We should really stop talking about this.
Fine. Take this blue pill and you'll forget all about it.
That's a jelly bean.
Yeah, I know. I already ate the red one.
The Matrix Bedroom with queen panel bed, 10-drawer dresser, landscape mirror, and 3-drawer nightstand, starting at $82.47 at Penny Mustard.
7 Chicagoland showrooms.
PennyMustard.com.
Penny Mustard Furnishings.
Hi, Dan Proft here. Data shows that boys make up more than 1/3 of those exploited in the sex trade. However, there are virtually no services available to male victims and survivors of trafficking and exploitation. They are often overlooked, ignored, and left without support. For 35 years, Emmaus has been on the front lines of an issue most of us can hardly imagine, helping men and boys in Chicago escape the nightmare of human trafficking and rebuild their lives. On Friday, November 1st, you're invited to attend an unforgettable evening at the Emmaus 35th Anniversary Gala at Fisherman's Inn in Elburn, Illinois. Together, they'll celebrate faith, freedom, and restoration with a beautifully catered dinner, an inspiring program, and a silent auction, all to support the mission of rescuing and restoring survivors. This is your chance to do something that truly matters. Reserve your seat today, or if you can't attend, make a life-changing donation at streets.org. That's streets.org. Emmaus is restoring lives. Let's help them keep going. Visit streets.org.
Rashaw talks about building income in retirement.
You know, you can actually structure it in a way that have that $4,000 a month coming in the door every single month. So you don't have to look at the stock ticker and say, oh, the stock market's up today, stock market's down. You still got that $4,000 a month, and having that opportunity to take the vacations and do all the fun things in retirement that you always dream to do.
Unleash your wealth, Saturday at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded. AM 560, The Answer. Prepare to have your mind opened. The lies of the mainstream media are about to be exposed, and the hypocrisy of the left is about to be revealed. This is a revolution in how you think about politics, race, and culture. You've tuned into Black and Right with John Anthony.
I'm coming in hot. Let's go, Detroit. Let's go, Chicago. Pastor Lorenzo Sewell. I'm the senior pastor of 180 Church. I have with me the greatest political mind that has ever crossed the bridge of time, the advocate, Ramon Jackson. Advocate, let's talk a little bit about black elected officials. We know one of our callers talked about that. Then we will go to Joe after you're done, my brother.
Well, one thing, blacks got to understand, particularly blacks in these majority hubs, you can't blame the Republican Party when the Republican Party is not your elected officials. Mm-hmm. This is what I mean by that. If people you elect, you put them over your resources. If the resources is not trickling down to our communities, how do we blame a party of a people that we don't elect? What Fudel said about black elected officials, we have a black school board in the city of Detroit. Chicago got a mixed school board, but Baltimore got one, and a lot of black cities got black school boards in their area. Mm-hmm. Black elected officials that represent your area or your district, whatever it may be. Now, those people supposed to represent your portion of the resources.
Yes.
If you're not getting resources, y'all suffering from all type of poverty, all type of violence, all kind of crime, all kind of lack of resources. It don't serve you no purpose to blame a Republican, because a Republican doesn't have your resources.
So it's not Trump's fault.
It can't possibly. As the caller said earlier, Trump don't raise taxes. Trump charging and trying to take the church, charging us water bills in Detroit, skyrockets to the roof, taking people commercial properties.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
So black people got to understand this, particularly in Detroit and Chicago, that our problem is our elected officials. When we see a school suffering, we see dilapidations in the school, we see outdated books, we see outdated ventilation systems. They got the money. It'd be just like a person getting the money for your roof, and your roof don't get fixed, and they telling you somebody else is responsible for it. That's what black Democrats is doing to black people.
Woo! All right, Joe, you are on right now with Black and Right in America. Come on, Joe.
I don't know how much time I have, so I want to get straight to it. The current black culture today, about a big part of it is not taking accountability. Mm-hmm. And the reason why...
All right. I think Joe may have been caught off on accident. I want to go to Thaddeus. Let's go to Thaddeus in Ferndale. Let's go, Thaddeus. Thaddeus, you're on.
Hello. Hey, I've been to your church a few times. How you guys doing? Good afternoon. So my question is just my statement, actually. It feels like all this Charlie Kirk stuff is very manufactured. They threw the black community all these little clips, out of context clips, and now they all got riled up about somebody they never heard of before. He was not a crossover political person. Like Kenneth Owens was a crossover person. No one in the black community ever talked about him. And it was kind of like, weird that all of a sudden now we're all in an uproar over this guy that you've never heard of before, Right. It just felt strange to me, that's all.
No, you're making a very, very good point, because the demonic Democratic Party, they always want to take hold on the black mindset in order for them to keep their most loyal voting bloc. I would like to go to Patricia in Detroit. Let's go. Patricia, you are on right now with the advocate Ramon Jackson and Pastor Lorenzo Sewell.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you clear.
Okay, well, I'm not for DEI because I feel the blacks are more than capable of working any job or any career. And besides, the DEI program is crowded now with the LBGQ included and people of other nationalities being the new minority are included in all of that. So we're pushed back. Saying all that, I know that Ramon has a heart for contractors, contracting. Well, contract getting to black people, and so what I was calling about is I had a question. We need to be prepared for those contracts that will be coming to us. And now a lot of our young men are have been socially engineered and ended up incarcerated. Now I know years ago they used to have training, like electrical training and all of this kind of stuff, and the guys got involved with that. But when they got out, it turned out that they couldn't get a job because they weren't certified. The training they received was not certified and was not recognized. I was wondering if you all know whether that has changed or not.
That's a very good question. Advocate, I'm going to let you go to that in terms of contracting with our young men in our communities.
Well, that's a narrative that these communities been under, and that's the part of the reason that they cheat these elections. Contracts. Mm-hmm. Contracts for people that's listening in Chicago and Detroit. The government is centered and built around contracts. That's what the government, your city officials, your elected officials, whether they state, federal, county, or your local, all of them have a budget, and all their budget is allocated through contracts. Contracts is one of the largest, safest, lucrative revenue streams of the 21st century. Now, blacks, one of the ploys that's being ran in these black communities is that blacks don't have the workers, or blacks is not able to get the contracts. But again, those people who saying that to us is elected officials. That's Democrats. Those are the people that's saying that to us. Republicans don't give us contracts.
Right.
Because they will if we elected a Republican. I've been trying to run as a Republican, right, and then you'll get a contract from me if they elect me as a Republican. But Republicans is not being voted into our community, so we can't blame them. So who can we blame? The black elected officials, who all are 100% Democrat. Let me say this. It's no majority Republican black cities or counties or districts in this country. Not one. Every Republican that's black, for real, he's in a majority white community.
Yes.
His constituents is white.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm so grateful to be the senior pastor of 180 Church here with the advocate Ramon Jackson, the greatest political mind who has crossed the bridge of time. He's our political minister at 180 Church. Charlie, you're on with Pastor Lorenzo and Ramon Jackson.
I'm trying to see. You got like a little ladder.
Charlie?
Oh, wait, it is a hole right there, though. All right. Little.
All right, Pete, you are on with Black and Right in America.
Pastor Lorenzo, it's awesome hearing from you. You're doing a great job.
Thank
Ramon,
you so much.
I've never heard of you, but I'm glad I'm hearing you right now. Thank you, sir. God bless you both. Quick comment and a question, and then I'll hang up and listen for my answer. The comment, More people need to realize that Planned Parenthood was started to wipe out black babies, period. Okay? Now, the question, when I go to vote locally, I notice a lot of times there's a Democrat name on there and they're running unopposed. No Republican is running. What do I do to change that? Who do I talk to change that? Thank you, gentlemen. God bless you.
Pete, well, you are in our wheelhouse right now, Pete. We're so grateful for you, man. I mean, this is what we do, election integrity. That is our creme de la creme. That's our focus. And the first thing we would say is join us. Join 180 Church, be a part of what we do at Souls to the Polls on Fridays and Sundays after church, because we are putting together a team so we can stop the cheating. We can stop the steal. The reason why they cheat is to steal our resources. And you can work all the polls you want. You can do anything. It doesn't matter if they're cheating. It's like playing cards and knowing that the deck is already fixed. The fix is in. We have a local election that will be happening in 44 days. And Advocate, you put together a court case on someone who ran for mayor, Danetta Simpson. She ran. Can you talk a little bit about what we're doing to fight back?
Yeah, I want to first say something. You know, one of the issues, Pete, is that coming particularly into majority Democrat, majority black communities is majority Democrats. So it's hard for a Republican to get a hold in there based on the psychological work that the Democrats do to black people, meaning sell black people the story and the theory that what Republicans is racist. So now when you got a Republican that's black coming to run, they saying he's a sellout. And then when you got a Republican that's white, that's trying to get the attention or the vote from the black, he's a racist. We have to change that narrative. So, and what we have to do is alter the coercion of our black people.
Absolutely. We will see you on the other side. Thank you so much.
Facts. And one of the things that the FBI has done is studied the sort of psychology and just the phenomenon that we live through uniquely in this country.
Uniquely in this country, if you compare the annual death rate from mass public shootings from January 2009 to December 2015, for example, death rate per million, number 1 was Norway. U.S. isn't until number 11.
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 8, right before Sean Hannity at 10 on AM 560. The Answer.
Sean Thompson here, and I'm with attorney Bert Hochberg from the law firm of Schiller, Ducanto, and Fleck. We're talking about divorce arbitration. This is not really a new, or is it a new, innovative way to go through divorce?
Arbitration has been around for decades. It's completely legit and available to resolve divorce cases. The litigants and their lawyers sign an arbitration agreement. They identify what the issues are, and we set up dates, and we determine what experts and witnesses there may be. Arbitration is a hearing, a trial that is intended to finish a case efficiently with limited appeal, with a binding decision, and it's confidential, so it has some great characteristics.
I think it's a unique alternative to divorce. For more information, please visit sdflaw.com and type Bert Hochberg into the search box. That's sdflaw.com or call direct 773-255-6150.
For decades, Dennis Prager shared his wisdom with listeners around the world through his lectures, courses, interviews, and debates. Now, for the first time, the collective wisdom of Dennis Prager is being made available as a podcast. Listen to Timeless Wisdom with Dennis Prager, with new episodes released for a limited time only as a podcast. Subscribe for free today at DennisPrager.com. That's Timeless Wisdom with Dennis Prager, exclusively at DennisPrager.com.
Did you know that AM 560 Radio has a full-service digital marketing division called Salem Surround? If you're a business decision maker, listen up. AM 560 listeners are everywhere your potential audience is. So are our incredible targeting capabilities. We localize digital marketing and put it within reach of every business, small and large, in Chicagoland and beyond. Salem Surround offers AI-powered marketing solutions that reach your ideal audience. Whether or not you tap into the proven live, local, and emotional connection that AM 560 Radio brings, Salem Surround offers a total marketing solution to our partners, all-in-one digital solutions that provide targeted local digital and social media ads, Google AdWords management, website services, video strategy, search optimization, and even a management dashboard to offer you total campaign updates and transparency. Your Salem Surround representative is located right here in Chicago. Experience the Salem Surround digital revolution today. Call 847-472-8951. That's 847-472-8951.
Is cremation an option you're considering for you or your loved one? At Catholic cemeteries, we offer sacred, permanent places of rest where loved ones can be remembered, prayed for, and visited for generations. Too often, cremated remains are brought home, only to end up in closets, basements, or forgotten on shelves. Memorialization is forever. Honor their life. Preserve your legacy. Visit us today at CatholicCemeteryChicago.org to schedule a free consultation or call 708-236-5490.
It's the show the mainstream media doesn't want you to know about. It's Black and Right with John Anthony.
This is Pastor Lorenzo Sewell. I have the honor and the privilege of being the senior pastor of 180 Church. I am with our political minister, the great Ramon Jackson. He's the greatest political mind that has crossed the bridge of time. Listen, I need you to go and get John Anthony's book, Letters to John Boy. I would like to go to Joe. Come on, my brother Joe. Let's try this again. You are on Black and Right in America.
Following the last caller who was asking about getting more Republicans into local office, I think that now would be a good time to start that, because a lot of Black residents of these Democratic ran cities, the wool is being pulled off of their eyes, and they're starting to become more critical of the truth that you're telling on this show right now. And furthermore, what I was saying about DEI, or what you're saying about Charlie Kirk or Donald Trump being used as scapegoats, the way Charlie Kirk spoke about DEI is being used and twisted as a way to create racial divide. And that's easy to do because our culture, Black culture, when I say our, I'm a Black caller, our culture, part of it is not taking accountability. So one reason I say this is because when it comes to our own history, people are more interested in the massacres and the terrorism that occurred throughout our history than they are interested in the accomplishments and the progress that was made. And that's an obvious sign of not actually wanting to continue that progress, but find people to blame and reasons to blame our failure or bad circumstances on. So the advocacy that people like you are doing, Pastor, and the advocate Ramon is doing is not being supported by the people that you're advocating for, because of this poor culture that we have that needs to change. So rather than looking for people like Charlie or Donald Trump to blame for our issues, we need to learn the political empowerment that you all are teaching and use it to our advantage.
Wow. Thank you so much, my brother. So powerful, Joe. Thank you, man. God bless you, my brother. We want to go to Ebony right here. You are on Black and Right with John Anthony.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, first I just want to thank you guys for your faithfulness in social poll. It's been over a year now since it started at 180 Church, and just wanted to share my testimony on how it really just exposed me to the truth of the corruption in politics. I'll be honest, I was a loyal Democrat before then, and that was just something that just was just embedded in us in the community. You know, I grew up in Detroit, so I just want to just thank you, reiterate that, and just want to just continue to encourage you guys to keep spreading the truth. And I'm happy to be on board with it as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Ebony. Thank you so much. I know it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot to be able to step off the Democratic plantation. Let's go, Nick Kenosha. Let's go, Nick. You are on.
Hey, guys. I want to say, I really love listening to John, and I was excited to hear a new voice tonight. You guys are doing fantastic.
Thank you.
I've expressed to John, I have a new daughter. How do I get rid of the white guilt as I heard?
Nick, can you repeat that again?
So I know, like, a lot of the other side preaches white guilt. Like, if she goes to public school or if she goes to college? How do I combat that?
It's all about identity. You know, I'm a pastor, so at the end of the day, the greatest citizenship that you can have if you're not a Christian, obviously I'm a believer.
I do. I want to raise her a Christian as well, very much.
Beautiful.
So.
Well, beautiful. That's the greatest citizenship. The second greatest citizenship that you can have is an American, right? Her being an American, her loving her country, you're teaching her about our history as a nation and how this is truly one nation under God. One of the reasons why tens of millions of people do come to America illegally is because people know that this is God's own country. You raising her with that identity, you raising her with that mindset, that's going to help her fight against any of the lies that the enemy would bring toward her, knowing that she is in a nation where it's one nation under God. Thank you so much, Nick. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless.
I want to go to Helena. You are on with us. Thank you so much for being on.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Good.
Good. I have a question for Advocate Ramon. I just wanted to know what are some areas in politics or some other areas in politics where we can see collective consciousness at work, and what are some practical ways that we can guard ourselves as a Black community against such thought patterns that are detrimental to us?
Oh, good question. Well, one of the things is that we have to, I was talking to a person, we have to quit looking for they. Our community, the communities in this country is set up as this. You have adults, you have a system, and you have the kids. The adults are duty bound to put people in through elections over their resources, right?
Yes.
So what we have to do as a community is make sure that we teaching people the importance of putting people in over our resources, and that's how we, and how we do that is that we have to incentivize voting. Most people in our communities never seen nothing come from voting.
Right.
You know why? Because the people that's put in office wasn't put in by the people. So if they never seen nothing for voting, what is the incentive to vote? We have to let them see something. We have to let them see the importance and the power of what a vote can do. So what we got to do, Sister Alina, is that we got to teach Black people and change that collective. See, the collective consciousness is that voting don't work. Stay off the grid. Stay away. And then if you do vote Democrat. That's a misconception and that's misinformation.
Wow. I want to go to Teresa. You are on right now, Black and Right.
Hello. How y'all doing?
Good.
Listen, I have more of a comment than a question, but number one thing is I've been voting since I was 18. I found out that my vote in person was changed to an absentee ballot.
Wow.
I've never voted absentee in my entire life. And it's just been a staple as long as I've been voting. Well, not just myself, but my family as well. I want to thank both you and the advocate for the work that you've done, Pastor. You've been
so
absolutely brilliant in your presentation of the issues facing Detroiters. And I want to hold up my brother, Ramon Jackson, because he's been at this for years. When I say that, I mean advocating on behalf of Detroiters and our resources. We were out, a group of us, just regular Detroiters, organizing and trying to recall one of our most corrupt city council persons, which is Scott Benson. And this is long before he met you, Pastor Sewell. But I say this to say, and to give that Ramon Jackson is a staple in the city of Detroit. You're not going to find that move in a political circle that don't know him and know his work. So I say that to say, it's our responsibility. We're the adults in the room.
Yes.
Voter fraud is happening here. That's a fact.
Yes.
So now, what are we going to do, Detroiters? We're the adults in the room. As my brother regarded, you got adults and you got kids. Now, which are we?
Right.
Wow.
Thousands of us should be showing up at city council's door
Yes.
and evicting them.
Yes.
Point blank, period. There is no way in the world Janice Winfrey should be running an election.
Amen.
Her own election.
Absolutely.
And keeping good Detroiters off of the ballot on purpose. So I say that to say, the ball is in our court, Detroiters. What are we going to do? I have a suggestion. You got the answer right in front of you. You got two awesome resources. You got Pastor Sewell at 180 Church, and you got the political minister, Advocate Ramon Jackson. Get yourself to 180 Church. Educate yourself and stop being so scared to let people know you don't know anything. This is the problem.
Yes.
So
but
powerful.
thank y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister T.
We want you to join us on the next half. Listen, you all, we're going to go to the clip where you actually were here, Teresa Williams. She's going to be testifying in front of the Michigan Election Committee. God bless you. Look forward to seeing you on the next half of Black and Right with John Anthony.
Hugh Hewitt isn't sure the Democrats can come back to the center.
The Democrats are dancing on the cliff of the left that they may fall off of. Can they possibly recover? Can they get back to anything approaching the 40-yard line? Their own 40. I don't know. A few people said they already are falling. They're in free fall.
The Hugh Hewitt Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
Fox News, I'm Carmen Roberts. Arizona officials announced charges for the armed man apprehended at the venue for tomorrow's Charlie Cook Memorial.
The Secret Service says the man was acting suspicious. He was taken into custody yesterday after found inside of the stadium.
Fox's Matt Fenn. Today, prosecutors charged Joshua Runkles with impersonating a law enforcement officer and other charges. President Trump posting on Truth Social today that if the Taliban in Afghanistan does not give back Bagram Air Base to the U.S., bad things are going to happen.
The president did not offer details about whether it will be a negotiated takeover or if he'll send combat troops back in. But he says its position between Russia and China makes the base an important strategic asset.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. America's listening to Fox News.
An informed and educated citizenry is the only guarantee to preserve our constitutional republic. And each week, you'll hear from experts, not pundits, and find out what's really happening, from local issues to national politics. Listen to The Real Story with Jeannie Ives. There's no topic of public policy concern that she won't talk about. Stop the lies. Learn the truth. Join the conversation. Sunday night at 7, right here on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Alistair Begg, inviting you to sail with me next September 5th through the 12th, 2026, on the Deeper Faith Norwegian Fjords Cruise. If you've never been to this picturesque part of the world, the sights are magnificent, and the glacier-carved cliffs demonstrate the grandeur of God's creative handiwork. Throughout the journey, I'll be teaching from the Bible. Together we'll learn from the Scriptures, enjoy a week of fellowship and worship, and stop at several ports, where we'll stroll through quaint Nordic villages. This is an opportunity to explore scenes you won't soon forget, all while forming new friendships with fellow believers from around the world. Cabins are limited, so call today at 855-565-5519 or visit deeperfaithcruise.com. 855-565-5519 or visit deeperfaithcruise.com. I hope to see you on board.
Book today at 560theanswer.com/deeperfaith.
Aon Service Corporation seeks a U.S. IT lead information security reporting to headquarters in Chicago, Illinois to perform information security analysis. Requires a master's degree in computer science, information systems technologies, or a related field, plus 2 years of information security experience. Must have at least 2 years of experience in each of the following: designing, integrating, testing, and supporting identity and access management (IAM) solutions, assessing security risks, and identifying strategy recommendations for improved IAM solutions, and providing input into the architectural design of IAM systems and completing IAM program roadmaps. May telecommute 5 days a week. Annual salary $98,176 to $139,500. Candidates must send resume to aonresumes@aon.com and cite requisition number 00818 or apply at jobs.aon.com.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
Salem News Channel is America's fastest growing conservative TV network.
It's an absolute crazy day.
Home to the largest lineup of free speech champions anywhere. Delivering in-depth insight and unapologetic opinion on today's biggest news stories.
Americans aren't going to put up with this anymore.
SNC brings you the news that matters, told with integrity and clarity. Watch Salem News Channel free 24/7 on your television. Stream now on Pluto TV.
This is Black and Right with John Anthony.
Get up, get on up. Hey, come on, Chicago, Detroit, get on up. Speaking of John Anthony, we have caller right here. John Anthony, you are on your amazing show. Let's go.
What's up, my brothers? You guys are doing a great job, man.
Thank you for this honor, man. It's such a huge privilege to answer the prayer.
Yeah, you guys are really doing a great job. I'm actually headed to an event where we Farm to Veterans, where they feed veterans here. And they also have in 9 different states. So I'm headed to hear David Spade give us some comedic relief tonight, hopefully.
Powerful.
So I want to thank you guys. And I also want to remind the people that are listening and calling in, I'm also on radio in Detroit Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. on these same airways.
Okay.
So
yeah, I mean, you're an amazing voice for us, man. We're so grateful you're here. We haven't had a voice like yours in the city of Detroit, and we thank you for giving us this platform because you're the only one that would have given us a platform this.
Yes, sir. Brother, anytime you and Ramon Jackson, man, anytime you guys want to get the message out, it's always open for you both.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother.
All right, I'm gonna get off the line so you guys can continue to entertain me as I'm stuck in traffic.
Yes, sir. God bless.
All right, God bless you, brother.
All right. Teresa Williams, she talked about election fraud. Now, I know some people don't think election fraud is real, so we want to actually play a clip of Teresa and several others who are living affidavits. Can we please roll the clip?
I never voted November 2020.
I'm telling you, I haven't voted.
I've never absentee voted. I've never done it in my life.
Could that have been the way that you voted? In person with an absentee ballot?
Absolutely not.
What kind of question is that? For real? Last 4 of your social security number, you got to put your driver's license number. You don't think people know that?
And she's currently still getting mail for voting.
I never registered to do anything or gave anybody the authorization.
People that we never voted in, but they were cheated.
Because it is happening all over the state.
The same day that I heard the great Charlie Kirk's name is the same day that President Donald Trump came to my church for his birthday weekend. The same day that I met Ramon Jackson, who is the greatest political mind that ever crossed the bridge of time. And it was through his leadership that we testified in front of the Michigan Election Committee. And we know that they cheat advocating elections to steal our resources. So we talked about bonds. We talked about all the overtaxation. We talked about everything that they do as it relates to stealing our resources, but they steal them because they're cheating. Would you talk to us about election integrity?
Yeah. What we found out is as we pulled the list from the voter list, we no longer in the city of Detroit allow our clerk to tell us who won the election and how many votes they won by. That's just too much trust. So what we do is when you tell us who the winner is and how much they won by, okay, we're going to check the list and make sure that this is the winner. This is the true person that's going to go over our resources. So we was doing a recall some years back, and we end up pulling the list of the voters so that we can have adequate signatures. And we find I found a friend of mine on the list who I know moved away, who I know don't never vote, who ain't never voted in his life. He was one of the ones that testified on that video saying he have never voted or he have never registered to vote in his life. He showed up voting in 4 different elections. Essentially what they doing in Detroit is preying on the non-voters, preying on the people who transiting throughout the city, unstable, move around from house to house. People in 20 years, they probably have 15 residents in Detroit in the last 20 years. So that means unstable housing. So they prey on them, register them back probably to an address that they lived at 15 years ago, that they would never ever go back to this address for no reason at all. And this person is already not involved in voting. So guess what? They use them and they go and they be able to continuously use them with impunity until we come forward and we show people how to make sure that they're not using them in elections in order to cheat us out of these resources.
Wow, so powerful. Thank you so much for your work. I know we got 44 days until our local election, our mayoral. We have 408 days, America, to our midterms, and 1,143 days until we pick the next president of the United States of America. We are going on with the great Dr. Darrell Burnett. You are on right now with Black and Right in America. Dr. Darrell?
Yes, can you hear me okay there?
I can hear you now.
Okay, hallelujah. Wow. I am just, I was on my toes, but now I'm on my toenails. This is a phenomenal experience for me. I'm in Chicago, downtown Chicago. I got a text message from Pastor Sewell, and he brought me just to my attention. I'm saying thank you so much. Our people need more media like this. This is real media. You know how Donald Trump talks about the fake media? Well, it's being replaced by mediums like this. And we need to breathe new life into our media on the same level that we had back in the day from Chicago with the newspaper that we had here, right? The Defender. We need to defend our media, need to defend our people.
Yes, sir.
And so I'm honored and hallelujah for doing this. I want to be a bridge between Detroit and Chicago, and we'll be able to continue to unify, because the problem we have in one place in this country is the same problem we have.
Yes, sir.
Dak, we're going to catch you on the other side of the break. We're going to catch you. Stay on the line. We're going to catch you on the other side of the break.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Chicagoland, your trusted friend Jeff here from JeffBuysYourHouse.com. Over the past few months, I've shared how our veteran-led team serves Chicagoland homeowners. Today, I want to share with you what your neighbors are saying about working with us. Like Mary in Downers Grove, who wrote, "They listened to my concerns about moving from my home of 30 years and created a timeline that worked for me." Or Tom and Carol Stream, who said, "Their team helped me sort through 40 years of memories with respect and patience." This is why hundreds of your neighbors have given us a 5-star Google review and an A+ rating with the BBB. We don't just buy houses. We help people through life's transitions with understanding and care. No repairs needed, no cleanout required, and always on your timeline. Ready to work with the home buying team your neighbors trust? Sell your house to the trusted source by calling us at 630-895-9530. That's 630-895-9530 or JeffBuysYourHouse.com.
Are you tired of exposing your retirement to stock market risk? How would you like the potential to participate in credited interest from market indexed returns and limit the downside? Join Mark Kohler for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, Sunday afternoons at 3. You can also call Mark now for your complimentary customized Retirement and Income Kit and Retirement and Income Book at 844-619-SAFE. Mark Kohler, protecting wealth since 1990. That's 844-619-7233.
Living with everyday pain is like having a voice that always says, no, you can't do that. You can't go there. You can't play your favorite sport. You better sit this one out. It's no way to live. If pain is affecting you, see how Relief Factor can help you get back to living life again on your terms. One where you say yes a whole lot more. Head over to ReliefFactor.com or give them a call at 800-4RELIEF. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by a team of doctors and scientists, Relief Factor's unique formula of natural ingredients doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or eliminate it for good. Whether it's your back, neck, your joints, your muscles, Relief Factor can help you, as it has for so many others. Give Relief Factor's 3-week quick start a try. It's only $19.95, a low-cost way for you to sort of take it out for a test drive. Less than $1 a day. Go to ReliefFactor.com, ReliefFactor.com, or call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800-4RELIEF. See how you could live with less pain, and you can say yes to more of everything you want with Relief Factor.
You need to be tuning into the Retirement Success Blueprint with Michael Stewart, the radio companion to the Amazon best-selling book, Success Blueprint, How to Build the Retirement You Deserve. Each week, Michael shares strategies designed to help reduce market risk through income-generating investments that can provide steady returns. Because if you can avoid a big loss, you don't need to take big risks. Catch the Retirement Success Blueprint with Michael Stewart, Saturday mornings at 10, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
And now, more Black and Right with John Anthony.
Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Pastor Lorenzo Sewell. I have the honor and the privilege of being the senior pastor of 180 Church, and I have with me the greatest political mind that has ever crossed the bridge of time, the advocate, Ramon Jackson. He is our political minister at 180 Church. I want to continue the conversation. Go ahead, Doctor. You're with us on Black and Right in America. Go ahead. You can finish, please.
All right. Thank you again for the consideration and allowing me to finish. You know, we passionate folk, we get a little quacious and talkative at times. I have one question. And now that I've been introduced to this platform, I'm going to stick with it. I want to be an example to others. You know, our people follow examples. Our kids follow examples more than anything else. We need to keep this going. We need to keep this movement going. Here in Chicago, I like to do what I can to keep it going here in Chicago to Detroit, and then spread it across this country to our other communities. What can I do to be a part of this movement and play a leadership role in this movement? I'm very interested in doing that immediately.
Thank you so much. The first thing we recommend is we have a platform called Souls to the Polls, and the advocate, Ramon Jackson, he is the one who teaches on Friday. He also teaches on Sunday after church. You need to follow him on social media. You can follow 180 Church. You can follow me, Lorenzo Sewell, on Instagram, every platform, and we share that content. Listen, it is the greatest political content. Just because people make political comments, that does not mean they're political. Just because people regurgitate talking points, that does not mean they're political. Everything you learn, whether it's about municipal bonds, it's about tax incremental bonds, it's about judges, court cases, local, federal, statewide, you will see how it affects your life every day. Souls to the Polls, we want to make sure you get educated, because the Bible says that my people perish because of a lack of knowledge, because they reject knowledge. I want to go to P. Ray right here, Chicago Red. P. Ray, you are on.
Thank you for having me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you so much for coming on.
All right. There's like an echo. It's okay. One moment.
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, okay, cool. So I'm P. Ray of Chicago Red and the former hostess of Tower here in Chicago. We were very, very, very successful on our mission to move our people from this culture of liberal failure by doing the following. Number one, you do not go to people and tell them what's wrong with them. Typically, when Black conservatives and Black Republicans stand before the Black community, it is to shame and admonish them. And just like you cannot shame the children of the Mississippi cotton pickers, I'm sure our cousins from Alabama and Detroit won't be shamed either. So what we have to do is focus on the good of our people. One of our phrases is that we are, as Americans, as sweet potato pie. Not apple pie, sweet potato pie. And that's our pie culturally, and it is an American pie because we are deeply invested, very flesh and bone in this country. We are not immigrants, and we do not need people to come and tell us how to function and thrive in the country of our ancestors. So if we focus on the political self-esteem of our people, then it's a very, very, very easy move. Right now I'm running for Congresswoman of the 7th Congressional District, which is a seat that's held by Congressman Danny Davis. He's been in office for 29 years. He just turned 86 last week. And I've been in the neighborhood collecting signatures to get on the ballot. Now, people would think that this would be very difficult in this very blue district as a Republican, but it's going very well because I'm focusing on the things that affect us. Right now, the Chicago Housing Authority has $1.8 billion that they've been hoarding for the past 25 years. There are 120,000 Black families on the CHA waiting list. However, they didn't make the migrants wait one day. So what I tell people is my goal is to get the people who are not supposed to be here home as quickly as possible so that we can get our people in the homes that they're occupying because there's too many of us outside. They say, give me that. I can go with that. If you're going to run on housing and get our people off the street and bring our people home from Iowa and Wisconsin and all these places they don't want to be, we can rock with that. But if I was to go to them and say, well, guys, your children don't have fathers and they can't read and they're nothing, nobody wants to hear their secrets to their faces. Sure. Everybody knows what's wrong with us. Everybody knows. So we don't need that. You cannot shame people. You have to empower them, and through that empowerment, you get political change. And this is why Chicago is now the epicenter of this movement. Now, when you start doing it, it's going to be a little difficult. When I was on WVON, they were very harsh toward me because I was saying something that they've never heard in a way that they've never heard it. However, at the end, people were saying, we're sorry, P. Ray. You were right, P. Ray. You were just trying to save us. We couldn't understand that. So you got to just keep it very, very positive and empowering and remind people that they are at home. Everything that we do is American. It is not a racial thing. We are the most American people in this country. So
absolutely.
Whatever we do, sit, talk, eat, whatever, that is an American action. So we are a product of the country, and this is a great country. America does not hate us. America does not want us to leave. We are the superstars of the world because we are American people. And so once you give the people the self-esteem, it's an easy sale.
Yeah, thank you so much, P. Ray. I'm so grateful. Look, and I want to hit on this because I think you're making a very good point. We focus on metrics. Anytime we talk about politics, we talk about Black Americans having control over almost 1,000 majority Black cities. We talk about Black Americans collectively having the power to be controlled. They can control their own destiny. So only thing we focus on is budgets. We focus on contracts. We focus on grants. We focus on loans. P. Ray mentioned the HUD dollars, and this is how we know that Black Americans can be able to get the resources. That's just their birthright because they're Black Americans.
I just want to say one thing to Pete Ray. Chicago, the thing about Chicago is that we got to understand the demographics in Chicago. Chicago is not a majority Black city. Chicago is a majority white city. So even if you flip Chicago, the blacks to red, you're talking about only 17% of the people that's probably a voting block there. It's not enough to move the needle like that.
We're going to see you in the next half. Thank you for joining us.
The following advertisement includes a celebrity impersonation.
The summer heat in Chicagoland is no joke. And if your old air conditioner is making funny noises, you may already know it's time for a new unit.
Look, your air conditioner, it's a disaster. People are telling me it's the worst ever.
Don't sweat it, literally. When it comes to cooling your home, Air Right Heating and Cooling does it the best.
And they love our country. Beautiful people.
Rebates are still available, financing is flexible, and at Air Right installations are smooth and professional with no surprises.
It's beautiful. Some people say it's the coolest air anyone's ever felt. I don't know. That's just what they're saying. It's doing an incredible job. Really tremendous.
Plus, tell them AM 560 sent you and Air Right will give you $56 off any service. Visit Air Right Heating and Cooling today at AIR-RITE.com. Again, that's AIR-RITE.com. Air Right Heating and Cooling, doing it right since 1959.
When it comes to industrial coating and finishing, cutting corners isn't an option. That's why leading manufacturers across the Midwest trust D&D Industrial Coatings in Racine, Wisconsin. From powder coating and liquid painting to blasting and custom finishing, D&D Industrial delivers top-tier protection and performance, fast, precise, and built to last. With over 40 years of experience, ISO-certified processes, and state-of-the-art lines, D&D handles everything from OEMs and petrochemical to agriculture, marine, construction, medical, and government specs. Family-owned, nationally trusted. Whether it's a short run or high volume, your parts are in expert hands, finished on time and finished right. Visit them today, ddindustrial.net. Again, that's ddindustrial.net. Or call them at 262-637-0686 to get your custom quote today. Again, that's 262-637-0686. D&D Industrial Coatings. Engineered to protect. Finished to impress.
Black and Right continues. Once again, here's John Anthony.
Thank you so much for joining us. This is Pastor Lorenzo Sewell. I'm the senior pastor of 180 Church right here in Detroit. I know Detroit, we only got a few more moments with you. Stick on with us in Chicago. And for the greatest political mind that has ever crossed the bridge of time, the advocate Ramon Jackson. Let us go to Glenn, our caller here from Orlando. Come on, Glenn. You are on with Black and Right.
Yeah, thanks, Pastor Sewell and Ramon. Enjoyed listening to the program today. Very informative. Two comments. When you go to vote, you make a choice, but when you don't vote, you're making a choice too.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Second, I recommend people look at the free videos on PragerU and Hinsdale College to learn about government ethics and other things. They're very informative.
Yeah, great resources. Hillsdale, Prager, they do great work. Great work.
So that's all I had, guys. I hope you have a good day.
Yep. Thanks, Glenn. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Glenn, man.
Eduardo, you are in Tampa Bay. You are on with us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, great show. I know we're going up to the top of the hour with Newsbreak, but let me ask you a question, because usually I have a list of things to say here, but some other time. Would you, or maybe thinking about in the future, talking to Mr. Johnson, Mike Johnson from the House Leader, about possible legislation, school choice, trade schools, something like that in the workings that you might suggest to Mr. Johnson? What do you think about something like that?
Yeah, I mean, we love Mike Johnson. I have an opportunity to pray with him. He is definitely a personal friend, and we intercede with him. And as it relates to trade schools, this is why we have to make sure we understand the federal funding that comes to our local municipalities, because Washington, they write resources. The advocate, he spoke about Section 3, there are already resources there available for us to be able to do anything we want within our impoverished communities. But number one, we have to stop the cheating. Before we go into the next segment, Advocate, you want to talk a little bit about what's going on with our elections, and then we're going to spend the last hour talking about election integrity.
What's going on right now is we had a primary election in the city of Detroit, August the 5th, and we've been champion election fraud. We caught them cheating. We have all the lists. We caught them cheating 5 elections ago. 2020, we have ironclad, bear trap proof that they cheated in the 2020 election. I know people say, well, how did that affect the election? Let me tell y'all how real quick. Detroit being the largest voting block in the state of Michigan. In 2020, Donald Trump lost that election allegedly by, I think, roughly around 150,000 votes. Detroit alone gave Biden 240,000 votes, which is 90,000 votes over out this one city alone.
Yes.
He needed to win that election. And we pulled it. It's thousands of them that's fraud just out that city alone. So what we did recently is we pulled the USBs. We got them right here. So we went and obtained the USBs. They took us 3 weeks before they gave us the USBs. When they turned the USBs over, we ran them, and we found hundreds of people that voted using the county jail's address. So what we did was got with one of the candidates that lost that election August 5th, and now we got a lawsuit pending to challenge the election results, to contest those election results based on the fact that we found fraud and irregularities in our August 5th election here in Detroit.
We want to be able to teach you. If you're listening out there, if you want to save our constitutional republic, if you believe that this is one nation under God, we need to teach you how to be able to understand, how to discern, how to be able to test, and how to be able to determine if there's cheating. Because if we do not have fair elections, we have nothing. If you're in Detroit area, I want to see you tomorrow at 180 Church. We have 11 a.m. service, and we have Souls to the Polls after. Chicago, stay on with us. We have one more hour. God bless.
FestGen Wealth Partners knows you're feeling the pinch of rising cost of living, and you are not alone. Potentially maximize your savings and get the guidance you need through times of uncertainty with a team at FestGen Wealth Partners. Get started at GetRetiredStayRetired.com.
Advisory services offered through FestGen Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Securities offered through Private Client Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Private Client Services and FestGen Advisors, LLC are unaffiliated entities. Any information discussed does not constitute investment advice. FestGen Advisors and Private Client Services do not offer tax legal advice.
When the power goes out, life stops. Heat, AC, fridge, phones, all gone. But with a Generac home standby generator from True Power Generator Service, your home powers back on automatically, so you're never left in the dark. Book your consultation today at TruePowerGenerator.com. That's TruePowerGenerator.com. And right now, AM 560 listeners get a free 10-year extended warranty with their Generac. True Power Generator Service and Generac. It's not just a generator, it's a power move.
News, opinion, insight. This is AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago. Streaming at 560theanswer.com on the AM 560 mobile app, or tell your smart speaker to play The Answer.
The memorial at Turning Point USA headquarters is growing ahead of tomorrow's service for influencer and founder Charlie Kirk.
A lot more people starting to pour into the greater Phoenix metro area as they try to honor the life of Charlie Kirk. And we expect those crowds to only get larger as we get closer to Sunday's planned public memorial service in nearby Glendale, Arizona. Now, a lot of the folks that we've spoken to out here say they're from Arizona, but there are people coming in from all over the country, from coast to coast, and in some cases from around the world. They tell us if they can't get in on Sunday, they're going to watch the stream, and they feel it's a fitting honor that both President Trump and Vice President Vance will be speaking. However, we know authorities are preparing for protests and possible disruptions.
Fox's Jeff Paul in Phoenix. House Speaker Mike Johnson says he will travel to State Farm Stadium and be there alongside President Trump and other White House officials. Well, President Trump issues a warning to Venezuela: take back your prisoners or else. Fox's Jill Nato explains.
In a post on Truth Social, the president said, "We want Venezuela to immediately accept all of the prisoners and people from mental institutions, which includes the worst in the world insane asylums that Venezuelan leadership has forced into the United States." He said if Venezuela doesn't, the price you pay will be incalculable. He didn't specify what action he might take. The president's also taken military action against a few boats from Venezuela believed to be hauling drugs to the U.S. Meanwhile, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has accused the U.S. of trying to produce a regime change in his country. Jill Nato, Fox News.
And a right-wing demonstration in the Netherlands erupts into violence. We'll have more on that and other details. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
Tonight, expect mostly cloudy skies with a chance of a few showers and a thunderstorm. The temperature will drop to 65 degrees. Tomorrow, variable cloud cover will linger with a chance of showers and a thunderstorm, creating humid conditions. The high temperature will reach 77 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Our local hospitals are the heartbeat of our communities, delivering critical care every hour of every day for everyone, training the next generation of caregivers. Beyond the walls, their benefit to the community is everywhere, driving the local economy and supporting local organizations, initiatives, and neighbors. Illinois Hospitals, healing communities. Learn more at team-iha.org. Sponsored by the Illinois Health and Hospital Association, aired in cooperation with the Illinois Broadcasters Association and this station.
Making the switch to a new communications and IT company may seem like a big ordeal,
But if you're not getting the reliable support, consistent internet, and secure solutions your company needs, meet Access One, your local Chicagoland IT experts. Access One has been powering Chicago businesses with secure, reliable IT solutions for over 30 years from our headquarters right here in the West Loop. Whether it's VoIP phones, dedicated internet, managed cybersecurity, cloud backups, or 24/7 support, Access One is here for you. Serving thousands of companies from Naperville to the North Shore, Access One is Chicago-owned and Chicago-run, a trusted IT partner for law firms, clinics, tech startups to manufacturers. We'll make the switch easier than you think. Let's talk. Call 800-804-8333 or visit accessoneinc.com. Rated top 5% in customer satisfaction and a Better Business Bureau A+ rated business. That's accessoneinc.com. Tech made personal locally.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
AM 560, The Answer. Prepare to have your mind opened. The lies of the mainstream media are about to be exposed, and the hypocrisy of the left is about to be revealed. This is a revolution in how you think about politics, race, and culture. You've tuned into Black and Right with John Anthony.
I'm coming in hot.
Thank you so much for joining us. This is Pastor Lorenzo Sewell with the Advocate Ramon Jackson. I have the honor of pastoring 180 Church in Detroit, Chicago. You have an opportunity right now to think about politics in a way you have never thought about politics before. I am reading out of the Political Bible, yes, the Black America Report. This is the Advocate Ramon Jackson. Listen to this. Over time, the absolute power of kings have been divided among the branches of modern government, executive, legislative, and judicial. No single branch or elected official holds all the power of a monarch. Instead, the power is distributed. The judiciary can confine or release you. The rule on monetary judgments. The legislature creates and amends laws, and the local governments impose property taxes. Each branch has its own taxation structure, underscoring how political power is now divided yet still immense. And this is the way we face politics when we think about you not having to be in politics. Politics are already in you. Chicago, why don't you give us a call so we can talk politics? 312-642-5600. One of the reasons why we don't sell this book, because actually it was the Chicago Press. Yes. There has been no other author that has written on the post-civil rights Black experience except for the Advocate Ramon Jackson. Let me say this again. There has been no other author that has written extensively about the post-civil rights era as it relates to politics in Black America. Advocate, can you talk to us a little bit about the Black America Report and how it affects us today?
Yes. The Black America Report it's a groundbreaking piece of work. As Pastor Zoe was just saying, the University of Chicago published a piece that we are in dispute about. And the dispute is not whether or not they got it from me. It's whether or not I got it from them. The dispute is only whether they got that from me. It ain't a dispute whether I got that from them. Because what's in this book is groundbreaking. What he just spoke about is a chapter that talks about how the power of monarchies, kings, was transferred over And when the systems was developed, meaning the system that we currently over where we can vote in elected officials, the reason they created these systems, parliaments, chancellors, counselors, senators, and all this was because absolute power always corrupted. So in order to stop absolute power, they say, let's spread the power and let's let the people decide. And that's how they developed these systems. So the power that was once wielded in the hands of monarchies is now in the hands of our senators, our Congress members, our president, our local politicians, and our judges. The problem is we forgot that power transferred over. We understand the power that a king wielded. We all understand that. We understand the power. The king had power over absolute life and death in a lot of ways. But what we not understand is that power now transferred, that same power transferred over to our politicians, and we forgot. That's why they running roughshod on us right now, because we forgot.
Well, let's talk about the judges, right? Let's talk about how the judges are stopping the president. Let's talk about how the judges are stepping in, and they essentially are stopping the president's will as it relates to immigration, as it relates to several different laws, executive orders that he's written.
Well, one of the things that people got to understand is that judges is a part, as we know, is a part of the judiciary branch, and that branch is one of the branches that have some of that power. And this is why you see unprecedented challenges with this president than you seen with other. I'm talking about the most cheapest, weakest challenges. I'm talking about he can't even remove people out the federal government without judges stepping in. And then what we seeing, look at this. Federal judges is appointed by politicians, and they appointed for life. Okay? They appointed by politicians, and they appointed for life. Now, presidents appoints these judges. So oftentimes when we coming forward with lawsuits against these judges, the judges is ruling in favor of the presidents that appointed them.
So it's political.
Or the system that they appointed. It's totally political in every kind of way. We are witnessing right now challenges being made from federal district judges to a president that we never ever seen in life. I'm talking about everything that a president is coming forward with is being challenged by these various different district judges. Now, when you go back and you trace the appointments of these district judges, you will see a lot of these district judges who are challenging the president was appointed by Democrat presidents. In our election fraud case, they moved probably 4 different judges on us. We first had a judge. Every time in Michigan, if you was on the Western District of the state, because that's how all states is broken down in federal district court with a Western and the Eastern District. In Michigan, if you was on the Western District and you filed a lawsuit on election fraud, you got a Democrat-appointed judge named Jane Beckeridge. That's who you got every time. Look it up. All election fraud cases that went through on the Western District in Michigan got Jane Beckeridge. On the Eastern District in Michigan, all election fraud cases start going to a judge named Robert White. These judges was appointed by President Biden. So here it is. You had President Biden appointees hearing election fraud cases on the 2020 election. Now look at this. How can the judge that was appointed by Biden adequately, honestly, transparently hear a case of election fraud in 2020 when the 2020 election is what got that judge appointed? If Biden don't never win the 2020 election, Jane Beckeridge, which is the federal judge on the Western District, she'll never be appointed. And Robert White, which is the federal judge that was hearing election fraud cases on the Eastern District, he wouldn't have never get appointed. Look at the situation that happened with Alina Habba. Alina Habba keep getting appointed as the federal prosecutor, and who's removing her? Judges.
Yep.
The president is appointing a federal prosecutor, because the Senate is holding it up, playing. I mean, the Senate and Congress is holding up, playing. The president is putting a federal prosecutor in these districts, and the district judges is stepping in. Now, let me say this, American people. Most of these federal judges have never, ever had a vote from the citizens in this country.
Wow.
Most of them never ran an election. They sneaky hiding, getting appointed into these. They're appointing their way all the way to the top court in our country. Most of our Supreme Court justices never ever ran an election. And remember, I'm not saying everyone. Majority of them never ran an election, and no citizen ever said, I want this person to sit on the judgeship. So that's what's going on. That's unchecked power. That is power. That is a portion of that power that used to be reserved for the king, given to these judges. And that's why you see them running wild right now more than anything, challenging this president. I'm talking about district court judges challenging what the president doing. I ain't never seen this to this magnitude.
Judges gone wild. We want to go to a caller here. Doctor, we're coming back to you. You are on with Black and Right in America. You're on, Dr. Brunell.
All right. Well, hallelujah again. And boy, I thought I was smart. My brother, thank you so much for your service and what you've been doing in your research and your dedication to us who are true American citizens, who understand that we do have access to that American dream. And this is the portal. This is the channel. This is the direction we need to go in order to secure our own rights, as our Constitution has said that we have. Man. As our Declaration of Independence says, we've been given these rights by our God. Yes, this is how it works. So thank you so much for your service. Now, being in Chicago, born and raised, I want to ask the question. You said a minute ago that Chicago, population-wise, is not enough blacks. At least this is what I'm thinking you're saying. There's not enough black citizens in Chicago to really move that needle where it needs to go in order to win Chicago in regards to going from blue to red, so to speak. Now, I've been participating in the election process for years, but just recently where I decided to look at it closer. But for years, I've learned that the...
Yeah, we're going to answer your question on the next side of the break. Thank you so much for joining us on Black and Right in America. We're going to answer your question on the other side of the break. Just hold on 1 second.
Scott Jennings sees more sore losing from the left.
This is Tim Walz, Democrat vice presidential candidate last year.
The last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. There will be news sometime, just so you know, there will be news.
I mean, he's literally sitting there saying, I wake up in the morning hoping to find news that the President of the United States had died.
The Scott Jennings Show. Weekdays at 1, right before Hugh Hewitt at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
It was a typical day. You were doing the usual, but then you met up with a friend at Weinstock Market and Lounge in Woodstock. Wow! The small-town charm and turn-of-the-century building set the tone for a classic outing. Their charcuterie pleased your palate like you never imagined. The Chicago beef sandwich made your taste buds dance. And the hand-selected wines from small vineyards around the world, so perfect. All paired with amazing live music. Weinstock Market and Lounge changes your day from ordinary to extraordinary.
Weinstock Market and Lounge, voted McHenry County's best wine shop and best of Fox 2 years in a row. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 3 p.m. till 11 p.m. Live music on weekends. Open mic nights on Tuesdays. Enjoy the fresh baked pizza and Chicago beef sandwiches. Wine favorites from Italy, New Zealand, France, and California. And a full menu of handcrafted cocktails. Plan a trip to Weinstock Market and Lounge on the square in downtown Woodstock. Mention AM 560 and receive 10% off any purchase.
Living with everyday pain is like having a voice that always says, no, you can't do that. You can't go there. You can't play your favorite sport. You better sit this one out. It's no way to live. If pain is affecting you, see how Relief Factor can help you get back to living life again on your terms. One where you say yes a whole lot more. Head over to ReliefFactor.com or give them a call at 800-4RELIEF. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by a team of doctors and scientists, Relief Factor's unique formula of natural ingredients doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or eliminate it for good. Whether it's your back, neck, your joints, your muscles, Relief Factor can help you, as it has for so many others. Give Relief Factor's 3-week quick start a try. It's only $19.95, a low-cost way for you to sort of take it out for a test drive. Less than $1 a day. Go to ReliefFactor.com, ReliefFactor.com, or call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800-4RELIEF. See how you could live with less pain, and you can say yes to more of everything you want with Relief Factor.
Unreadable, inconsistent part marking is more than a nuisance. It's a liability. When your part marks fade, your quality and credibility also fade. GT Schmidt helps manufacturers leave a permanent mark on their products. Laser, dot peen, scribe, and roll marking systems. Our machines engrave everything from serial numbers, date codes, certification marks, barcodes, 2D matrices, and logos on metal, plastic, anodized coatings, and more. GT Schmidt laser systems provide high speed, versatility, and durability with non-contact precision. Harsh environment, rugged parts? GT Schmidt pin markers produce deep, reliable marks. Parts small or large, flat or round, we engineer systems to your specific application. GT Schmidt, the name for dependable part identification and traceability, setting the standards since 1895. Right now, save 10% off standard GeoMark Pro lasers and standard Styliner pin markers. Visit gtschmidt.com for the marking machine that's right for you. Made in the USA. GT Schmidt, your mark made to last.
It's the show the mainstream media doesn't want you to know about. It's Black and Right with John Anthony.
Thank you so much for joining us. This is Pastor Lorenzo Sewell with Black and Right by the great John Anthony. You need to get his book, Letters to John Boy. I am with the greatest political mind that has ever crossed the bridge of time, the advocate, the political minister at 180 Church, where I am the senior pastor, Ramon Jasson, and we just were talking about demographics. I know there was a question that the doctor had alluding to demographics in Chicago. Can you talk to us, advocate, about how you approach politics and how you look at it from a demographic perspective?
First, people need to understand demographics is real. It's how you judge. It's the reason that you can look up a city and it'll tell you how much population is in that city. Chicago have never been a majority black city. It just always had a black presence there. So people assumed for a long time that it was a majority black city. And so, but they have a large black population there. So when we say Chicago can't move the needle to the point where they can switch the whole city from blue to red, because not from the black perspective, because blacks probably only got 16% of voters there, registered voters. Probably 29% of blacks there, 29% blacks there. But out of those 29%, everybody not a registered voter, everybody not over 18. So we probably talking about 18%. That's not a majority. We get nothing out of not understanding our demographics here in this country. A lot of times when Barack Obama got elected, I heard blacks all throughout the community, we put Barack Obama in. We didn't put Barack Obama into no office. We do not have enough voting power on the national level as black people to put a president in office. Roughly, we probably have 38 million registered voters in the black community. I'm being generous with that.
Sure.
We probably got less than that. That's not enough to put a president in office right there, okay? So when we got to understand our demographics, and that's how we know where our power is. Now, Pastor Zoe gonna break down out the book how we break the governments down into a corporation. And so that's how the people in Chicago black people in Chicago have to look at their population there as a corporation. What percentage of black people is in the corporation of Chicago? So we know if y'all 29%, what is 29% in a corporation? Well, it's not majority, but it ain't no chump change.
Absolutely, and that can cause your board of directors, right? Which you put amazingly, and you articulated it masterfully and brilliantly in the book, The Black America Report, where when you look at your city council, that's considered your board of directors. Just like on the state level, when you look at your legislatures, that's like your board of directors. And obviously, your executive is your CEO. We want to go to Rick here in Indiana. Let's go, Rick. Thank you so much for joining us. You're on.
Yeah, I don't understand about the Democratic Party. Ever since Trump's got in the first time and now, all they do is complain and complain and complain, no matter what he does, whether it helps the Democratic Party or, the country itself. But in the end, all it is they have no shame, none at all.
Yeah, it's really sad, Rick, when you look at what the Democratic Party has done in terms of messaging. If I were a Democrat, I would spend more time looking at Kennedy. I would spend more time looking at Clinton. I would spend more time looking at their approach, but they've gone so left. They've fallen off the cliff as it relates to the LGBTQ plus community, as it relates to men being in women's sports. And for us, what we look at more than those issues, which are political issues because it deals with the rules and it deals with legislation, what we look at is the metrics. And we look at it from a business perspective. And maybe you're listening out there. The question you have to ask yourself is something that the Advocate teaches us at 180 Church is, are you a shareholder or are you a donor?
Absolutely.
Advocate, can you talk to us a little bit about that? What's the difference between a shareholder and a donor?
Well, a donor is a person that just contributes their tax money to various different tax pot and get nothing in return. You're a donor. How do you elevate from a donor to a shareholder? The only way to elevate from a donor to a shareholder is by claiming your rights as a shareholder. That means attending board meetings, knowing your stake in the corporation. We break down government in the form of corporations where the president is the CEO, the governor of the country, the governor is the CEO of the state, and your mayor is the CEO of your city. Your county executive is the CEO of your county. Your council members, your state representatives, and your council members, your state representatives, and your federal representatives are your board of directors, because every corporation have a board of directors. Now, the next thing every corporation have is what? Shareholders. Who are the shareholders in these corporations that we call cities, municipalities, states, federal governments? The residents are. So when we know that and we looking at the government from a business perspective, you understand that you have to have a righteous CEO. You understand that you have to have a righteous board of directors. You can't have a CEO which is a mayor, which is a county executive, which is a governor, which is a president that's robbing you. Nor can you have a distrustful board of directors, because the shareholders going to get robbed every time.
And that's why they cheat in elections, right?
Absolutely.
They cheat so they can steal from the shareholders. Can you speak about what you have in your hand? You have 2 USB drives in your hand. Can you explain this to us, please?
These USBs I have in my hand, me and Pastor Zoe obtained these USBs from the Detroit Election Department. And on these USB, these are the voters that they said alleged that have voted in the August 5th election in Detroit. And we got these in order to make sure that we can put a fair CEO in our city government and a fair board of directors who are going to control our resources. But what we found, as all elections, as Trump said was happening in 2020, and this is why I supported Donald Trump, was clearly about the election fraud that was happening, that I know was happening in the city that I live in. And sure enough, it happened in 2020, and it has happened in every election in Detroit ever since. These USBs is proof, ironclad proof, that the August 5th, 2025 Detroit citywide election has been cheated and stolen with stolen fraudulent votes.
Now, when we say proof, not only do we have the proof, but we have the pattern and we have the people, meaning we have living affidavits on. Let's put one on right now. Teresa, you are on with us right now. We know you're a living affidavit. You're on with us right now.
Yes, sir. Thank you for allowing me to speak again. My absentee ballot. I'm sorry. Let me restate that. My in-person ballot was changed to an absentee ballot. I've never voted absentee in my life, and I just want to say that voter fraud is for real. It's happening here in Detroit. It's nothing that's a myth or fairy tales or pixie dust. I was involved with Brother Ramon when we initially discovered what was happening. So first seems like when you try to explain to black people that there's voter fraud, the first thing out of their mouth, they holler Trump.
Yeah.
This don't have nothing to do with Trump. I'm telling you what we're experiencing here as local Detroiters.
Yes.
So, and another thing I want to speak to my community, which is the Christian community. We have to be conscious of the word, right? Mm-hmm. James 2:26. For the body without the spirit is dead. So faith without works is dead also. So everybody that's talking about you a prayer warrior, this, that, and the third, you know more than a keyboard warrior if you're not doing anything.
Amen.
So once again, I would say activate yourself. And the Bible also tells us humble ourselves. I have a master's degree. I have a bachelor's degree. I'm a certified Detroit Public Schools teacher. I'm a real estate agent. I'm past a real estate. I say that not to boast on myself, but to tell you that I knew absolutely nothing about politics until I got in the right room with Ramon Jackson.
Amen.
And he's done this for years across Detroit. So nobody can come up and try to point to Trump. If somebody's pointing to Trump, especially in the city of Detroit, concerning the matters here in Detroit involving Ramon Jackson, it's a bald-faced lie.
Absolutely.
They know him well, and they know his work. So I say that to say, humble yourself, get to 180 Church so that you can be informed and empowered about what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will see you on the other side of the break. Stick with us.
My killers moving silence like you don't know what I silence. New York killers are wildest. My dogs is with it. You want it? Come and get it.
Larry Elder thinks the media is being ridiculous.
There was a hashtag called Trump is dead, and it was trending. The same people who covered up for Biden for years are concerned that the president, who held 3 consecutive press conferences recently in one day, takes a little bit of time off, and he's not being transparent about his health.
The Larry Elder Show.
Weeknights at 8, right before Sean Hannity at 10 on AM 560. The Answer.
Daria Aldinger Republicans on Capitol Hill couldn't pass their own resolution to avert a government shutdown at the end of the month. Pennsylvania Congressman Dan Muser says it's because Democrats proposed their own bill.
Once again, they're putting politics over people, and that's not a cliche. I mean, that's the action that's taking place.
The Democratic plan would restore funding to Medicaid and public broadcasting. President Trump is sending the National Guard and federal agents to Memphis. City Council member Jerry Green says they aren't needed.
The things that we've been doing in Memphis are actually working. We're at a 25-year low in crime, and I am deeply concerned about the economic impacts. What we've seen in D.C. is small businesses, restaurants, hotels have suffered.
State law enforcement, like the Tennessee Highway Patrol, will assist in the operation. America is listening to Fox News.
Did you know a will alone does not keep your family out of court when you die? The court still has to approve your will, but get a living trust, and your estate can be settled clearly without issue. Talk to the attorneys at Nauman & Associates. They prepare wills and trusts for a flat fee, no surprises, no hourly rate. With decades of experience, they know the law and offer a free consultation. Contact Nauman & Associates in Elk Grove Village, nalawgroup.com. Call 847-593-8777.
A project engineer level 4 is sought by Quandel Consultants Incorporated in Chicago, Illinois, to design complex project, system, component, or process. Requires a bachelor's degree or foreign equivalent in civil engineering or related field and 2 years experience in the job offered or in tech designer capacity. must possess experience with transportation engineering software, Bentley CAD, Autodesk CAD, to produce railroad and highway geometry design, assess traffic patterns through AutoTurn, generate construction drawings, and conceptualize 3D infrastructure solutions, design 3D linear transportation corridors, and develop cross-sections, and etc. Upon hire, must obtain proper Illinois Pro Engineering license within 6 months. Salary is $98,280 per year. 5% domestic travel is required. Email resumes to tweitzman@quandel.com. Reference job 101.
This is Alistair Begg, inviting you to sail with me next September 5th through the 12th, 2026, on the Deeper Faith Norwegian Fjords Cruise. If you've never been to this picturesque part of the world, the sights are magnificent, and the glacier-carved cliffs demonstrate the grandeur of God's creative handiwork. Throughout the journey, I'll be teaching from the Bible. Together we'll learn from the Scriptures, enjoy a week of fellowship and worship, and stop at several ports, where we'll stroll through quaint Nordic villages. This is an opportunity to explore scenes you won't soon forget, all while forming new friendships with fellow believers from around the world. Cabins are limited, so call today at 855-565-5519 or visit deeperfaithcruise.com. 855-565-5519 or visit deeperfaithcruise.com. I hope to see you on board.
Book today at 560theanswer.com/deeperfaith.
You're great at protecting your data, but lots of places could still expose you to identity theft. If that happens, LifeLock gives you the U.S.-based restoration agent who will stick by your side from start to finish. Phone calls, filing documentation, preparing insurance claims. Your agent handles it all. In fact, they're so confident restoration is guaranteed or your money back. It's nice to have an expert like that on your side. Save up to 40% off your first year with promo code Beck at LifeLock.com. That's LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
Ross Shaw talks about building income in retirement.
You know, you can actually structure it in a way that have that $4,000 a month coming in the door every single month. So you don't have to look at the stock ticker and say, oh, the stock market's up today, stock market's down. You still got that $4,000 a month, and having that opportunity to take the vacations and do all the fun things in retirement that you always dream to do.
Unleash your wealth, Saturday at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Black and Right with John Anthony.
This is Pastor Lorenzo Sewell. I have the honor and the privilege of being the senior pastor of 180 Church in the great city of Detroit and Chicagoans. Thank you so much for joining us. I have with you the greatest political mind that has ever crossed the bridge of time, the advocate Ramon Jackson. We will talk about election fraud. Yes, black people care about election fraud. They cheat in elections to steal our resources as it relates to bonds, as it relates to all types of overtaxations that happens because they vote unilaterally, they misrepresent us, and they mismanage our resources. Advocate, can you talk about this local election that's coming up right now?
Yes. This is a Detroiters in Detroit, but in general. Ways Sister Teresa that came on, Teresa Williams, she was talking about, for people that's listening in, she was talking about how she never voted absentee in her life. She go in the polls in person. She was saying how she went in the polls to vote and didn't know that they switched her vote to an absentee. Now, some people might say, now how did they do that? By taking an in-person voter, creating a whole new absentee ballot. And then you know what you can do? You can vote in a total different way than the person who came in person and vote.
Wow.
Not only that, you will not trick the numbers. It's still a show up that she voting. So what you got is, you got a voter list with people saying, well, they got the names of the people who voted. Our Secretary of State removed how they voted, whether it's absentee or in person. So now they're using legitimate vote. When we caught them using voters who don't vote, caught them using deceased voters,
right?
Caught them abusing overseas voters. So we caught them doing all that. They next thing was to use actual voters that go into person and switch their vote out to an absentee. That's why it's important that you check your voter records.
Yes.
I don't care what city you in. Get your voter record. Check your voter records and make sure your voter records is accurate. If you pull your voter records, your clerk should be giving you your voter record. You should be able to go to your local clerk and obtain a copy of your voter record. Look at your voter record and see what they saying and when they saying you vote. If you see a date on there where you know you ain't vote, understand your mind is not playing tricks on you. They are using you to cheat, especially the people who ain't went to the polls in years to vote. That's who they prey on. Michigan got a thing where if you ain't been to the polls in 10 years, you prime suspect. And if you never been to the polls, you prime suspect. Let me tell you another thing too. The National Voter Registration Act was a gift and it's a curse. I'm gonna tell y'all why. They said they wanted to make it accessible to people to vote. Well, what's happening is people being registered to vote through these transactions with the state. So now they registering people who got aid, people who on all type of financial aid. I'm not financial aid, all type of public assistance.
Yes.
And who is on public assistance?
Black people.
Low income black people who often don't vote.
Yep.
So they registering them through all these public assistance programs, and these people don't know. A lot of the people that's on these public assistance got unstable houses, so they moving from place to place, and they just registering them back at their old address. So that's what she's talking about, ploys and ways in which they vote. As my brother just was saying, the myth and the stereotype that only white people care about the elections or know that the elections is being stolen, that is a myth. And black people, we got to have accountability with ourselves. We have to have accountability. We have to step up as people, and we got to understand when we not doing something wrong, when we doing something wrong as a people. We are allowing these things to happen to us in our communities. The reason that the Democrats prey on us is because we easy prey. You don't try to gyp somebody who you know is smart. You try to gyp somebody who you know is easy prey. This is the thoughts they have about us when they continuously selling us these stories and selling us this propaganda. Now, millions of people, even though we not a major part, and I'm going to be quiet, we not a majority population, but if you got the second largest population that will take your story, your propaganda, and spread it, that's worth its weight in gold.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why we see what happened with the great Charlie Kirk, even President Trump. Everything is the Republicans' fault. I know we need to get into some technicalities here as it relates to the city of Detroit voting for people that are in the county jail. Now, you can vote in the county jail if you're waiting to be sentenced, if you're waiting to go to court, you can vote. But you still have to use your address. You can't use the county jail address. In about 60 seconds, Advocate, can you tell us why that's so important, why people need to know this?
Well, people need to know that because if a person come through the county jail, they can be from anywhere. If you fly in from France and you commit a crime and you fly into Wayne County from France and you never step foot in the house in Wayne County and you commit a crime in Wayne County, they taking you to the Wayne County jail. So being able to vote just being in the Wayne County jail is unlawful and is wrong, and it totally takes away the voter rights of Detroiters in Detroit. So we got to stop that.
Stay with us. We'll be back right after the break.
Is cremation an option you're considering for you or your loved one? At Catholic cemeteries, we offer sacred, permanent places of rest where loved ones can be remembered, prayed for, and visited for generations. Too often, cremated remains are brought home, only to end up in closets, basements, or forgotten on shelves. Memorialization is forever. Honor their life. Preserve your legacy. Visit us today at CatholicCemeteryChicago.org to schedule a free consultation or call 708-236-5490.
That's cold!
Don't get stuck with a cold shower this fall. Give CenterGuard Plumbing a call. Get a new 40-gallon water heater installed for just $1,195 for standard installation, or a 50-gallon heater for $1,295 standard installation. A proud new sponsor of AM 560, CenterGuard is offering specials on new water heaters. Don't wait. The cold temperatures are coming, and the same can happen to your water heater. If you're having hot water issues or your water heater's over 8 years old, take advantage of this fall special today. CenterGuard Plumbing is Chicagoland's same-day water heater experts. Call before noon, and they can schedule your repair or install the same day on in-stock water heaters. They'll even haul away your old one, no charge. You're only a text away from install today. Call 847-406-8883. Mention AM 560 to receive fall special pricing. That's 847-406-8883. Call or text 847-406-8883 or visit CenterGuardPlumbing.com.
You need a construction company, but who?
Call Croscom!
A construction company you can trust that shares your Christian and conservative values. For decades, Croscom has been doing work in Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, and Wisconsin. Roofs, siding, windows, doors, gutters, basically everything for your home or business, even solar. Quality work and professional services that make you feel great about your decision to work with Croscom.
Call Croscom!
630-871-5500. Give them a chance to earn your business. If your repairs are due to storm, fire, or flood damage, you need to
call Croscom.
They're licensed public adjusters. They work for you, not the insurance company. Croscom will work to get you the money you deserve, the maximum payout. They know the insurance companies and how to deal with them. They win for you.
Call Croscom.
Croscom Construction and Public Adjusters.
This is Dan Lights with Croscom. You can trust us with your home or business for high quality work and fair prices. It's the only way we do business.
630-871-5500. CroscomPublicAdjusters.com.
Our local hospitals are the heartbeat of our communities, delivering critical care every hour of every day for everyone, training the next generation of caregivers. Beyond the walls, their benefit to the community is everywhere, driving the local economy and supporting local organizations, initiatives, and neighbors. Illinois Hospitals, healing communities. Learn more at team-iha.org. Sponsored by the Illinois Health and Hospital Association. Aired in cooperation with the Illinois Broadcasters Association and this station.
And now, more Black and Right with John Anthony.
Thank you so much for joining us. This is Pastor Lorenzo Sewell. I am the senior pastor of 180 Church. I have with me the greatest political mind that has ever crossed the bridge of time, the advocate Ramon Jackson. And he has taught me so much, the advocate, about politics. Listen, you all, this is so important when we talk about politics. We have to understand this. We have to understand that when I was sitting with the great Charlie Kirk, I would have been in the green room with him. I wanted to give him this book about election fraud. Advocate, why is that so important? Why is election fraud so important?
I mean, that's being able to choose our elected officials. That's what separates us from countries that's not free. If you take that away, we are under a tyranny. If you take election, people in Chicago that's listening, because our Detroiters is off, I encourage, especially the black population, y'all suffer from the same plight that we suffer from in Detroit. Unstable housing, dilapidation, constantly moving around. So in my studies and my research, that make y'all a prime candidate, make y'all prime candidates for election fraud. I encourage y'all to go check y'all voter list.
Yes.
Check y'all voter list. It's probably 700,000-800,000 blacks in the city of Chicago. That is a lot. That is enough to tip the scales on those elections. Let me tell y'all this, people here in Michigan that's listening in. Detroit is the largest voting block in the state.
Yes.
So if they cheating in Detroit, they're cheating throughout the whole state. Detroit helped all governors, board of governors for all the colleges in the state. Detroit is helping the Democrats win. Detroit is helping all senators get into office, all attorney generals, all of them. This is why you got a Democrat governor, a Democrat attorney general, and a Democrat secretary of state right now. Wow. And then you got one chamber that's majority Republican out of all of it, because they're utilizing those black people in those cities. The only time blacks can vote with the majority whites, because we stay in segregated communities. Whether people want to believe it or not, we stay in segregated. The only time we vote with the other whites is during gubernatorial elections and presidential elections. Right. And oftentimes, that's where they utilize and extracting so many blacks. I'm talking about strays.
Right.
Strays that moved away. The sister from Chicago spoke about people that's being pushed down in Wisconsin, being pushed into them other states out of Chicago. Those are possibly their voters.
Yeah, because they moved, and what we found out in Michigan is when they moved, then through a driver's license transaction, they're re-registering them back. We have Karen. She's on the line here. Karen, you're on with Pastor Lorenzo.
Hi, John. I'm just loving your show. And I waited till the end. You have brought so much to light, and you've opened our eyes. And the reason I've kind of waited is, number one, I wanted to listen. I've learned so much. But today being the day before Charlie Kirk's funeral, so much of us don't have a way to let out our support. I was thinking it would be nice if people would put a lit candle, a battery candle if they want, by their window, just to show support, to put light out into our neighborhoods. People do it for other things like Halloween, but I think tonight it would be significant if people would do that in remembrance of Charlie Kirk. And John Anthony, thank you so much for your show. You always have such interesting topics. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Karen. We're actually pushing for the Charlie Kirk Voting Act. One-day paper ballot IDs. I knew Charlie personally. He's been such a blessing to me. And we believe that you should light that candle today, because Jesus said that we are the light of the world. As it pertains to voting, Dr. King said it like this: if I lived in China or Russia or any totalitarian country, I can understand that they have not given themselves to that over there. And right now, we have a case that's going before the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Ramon Jackson, case number 24, 2006. And I believe the great Charlie Kirk, when I was scheduled to speak with him last week before he went home to be with the Lord, I wanted to give him your book in order to champion this case so that we can truly have one-day paper ballot IDs. Listen, you all, you cannot catch cheating with machines because you have no plaintiff. You cannot catch cheating with a bag of ballots saying, oh, I saw someone doing that. I'm not trying to discredit your witness, but what I'm saying is you need to have a plaintiff. We have plaintiffs. We have people, we have the proof, we have ironclad, bear-trapped, hand in the cookie jar evidence of cheating. And in one court case, our highest Supreme Court, our highest court, said that if one vote is distorted, that means that the entire election is distorted. What are we saying? We're saying is when you test a lake for poison, you don't need to test all of the lake. You wouldn't dare take the entire lake of Michigan and test all of the water to see if some of it was poison. What do? You take a sample, and that's exactly what we're seeing in majority black cities all over America. Detroit just happens to be the epicenter, and we want Chicagoans to know, go check your vote. Verify your vote, because for such a time as this, we need to save our constitutional republic. Remember, we have in 44 days in Detroit a mayoral election. We have 1,143 days. We have a presidential election, and in 408 days, we will have a midterm. So the question becomes, will you say by your vote, I am proud to be an American? Will you say by verifying your vote that at least we know we're freed? Will you say, with being able to get educated by the great advocate Ramon Jackson, that you're willing to stand with those who died, that gave their life for you? God bless you. We will see you on the other side of this break. This is Pastor Zoe. God bless.
I'm feeding my fam. I'm feeding the meter. They got the iron while I got the steamer. I bring the fire, but you never seen her. I testify, I don't need a subpoena. They want my soul, better go to Korea. I love my dog just like I'm Peter. Gotta protect.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, doctors Economos, Gave Alice, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidiscipline practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930, 630-830-4930, or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
Did you know that AM 560 Radio has a full-service digital marketing division called Salem Surround? If you're a business decision maker, listen up. AM 560 listeners are everywhere your potential audience is. So are our incredible targeting capabilities. We localize digital marketing and put it within reach of every business, small and large, in Chicagoland and beyond. Salem Surround offers AI-powered marketing solutions that reach your ideal audience. Whether or not you tap into the proven live, local, and emotional connection that AM 560 Radio brings, Salem Surround offers a total marketing solution to our partners. All-in-one digital solutions that provide targeted local digital and social media ads, Google AdWords management, website services, video strategy, search optimization, and even a management dashboard to offer you total campaign updates and transparency. Your Salem Surround representative is located right here in Chicago. Experience the Salem Surround digital revolution today. Call 847-472-8951. That's 847-472-8951.
Black and Right continues. Once again, here's John Anthony.
Thank you so much for joining us. I want you to do me a favor. Why don't you go get Letters to John? Boy, it's an amazing book. Remember the great Charlie Kirk? I was supposed to be with him before he went home to be with the Lord, and I believe he will be so proud of what we've done in Detroit. Since President Trump came to my church, the first day I heard his name, I met my now political mentor and the political minister at 180 Church, the advocate Ramon Jackson. In these last few moments, I'm going to give him the time to share, to equip, to encourage you all as it relates to politics. Go ahead, advocate. What's on your heart?
First and foremost, I want to say this to Black Americans. Please vet everything that's taught to you. Vet everything that's taught to you and find a source of real information. The media sources is not adequate to direct us in our community. They are selling propaganda. And remember this, people only prey on people that think that who they think is weak.
Yes.
So they think that we are weak intellectually, and this is why Democrats prey on us so much. I'm gonna give y'all an example real quick before I go. Trump took taxes off overtime, and so people who get overtime can don't have to pay taxes on it. But no, you know what the factories is doing? The factories is not giving overtime now.
It's Trump's fault.
And so you know what's happening? It's Trump's fault. So look at this. If people don't understand the dynamics of how things go, they'll fall for blaming Trump versus blaming the people who they making those cars for every day. That Trump created a law that would give them a break. But the factory, the owners of the factory is saying, we not gonna give y'all overtime now since overtime is not taxed. And now blame that on Trump and the tariffs now. So we have to quit falling for that. People gotta be conscious and be smart to understand everything is political. The automotive plants, that's a political move that they're doing. That's political. Everything is related to politics. You don't have to be into politics. Politics is into you.
I love that, advocate. Politics is in you. When you wake up, you're paying some type of tax, or you're investing in a corporation, whether it's locally, statewide, or federally. All those out there in Chicago that are thinking about your native son Charlie Kirk, I want to pray for you. Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, for those that are hurting, for those that feel discouraged, for those all over Chicago that would say, God, why do the good die young? We pray you give strength, give wisdom, give revelation in the knowledge of you for every listener that has been encouraged and exhorted to get into politics, to verify their vote. Heavenly Father, we ask that you would give them strength, give them the ability to run through troops and leap over walls. And we pray right now in the name of Jesus for Turning Point USA. We pray, Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, for the life and legacy of Charlie Kirk. We pray, Father, in Jesus' name for his children and his wife. And we ask that you would be their comfort, be their source, be their ever-present help in the time of trouble. For John Anthony and his family and this great network, we pray that you would enlarge their tents. We ask that you would strengthen their cords. We ask that you would allow them to be effective in ways that they can never think, ask, or imagine. And Lord, we thank you that as our president gathers tomorrow in Arizona, as our vice president gathers there together in Arizona, we pray that your presence and your power would heal the land, because you said in your word, if my people that are called by my name, if we humble ourselves and pray, you said that you would hear from heaven, forgive our sin. We need you to heal our land, Father, and we will give you all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory in Jesus' name. God bless you. Join me tomorrow at 180 Church Detroit. God bless you. May heaven smile upon you.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, doctors Economos, Gavalis, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930, 630-830-4930, or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
News, opinion, insight. This is AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago. Streaming at 560theanswer.com on the AM 560 mobile app, or tell your smart speaker to play The Answer.
Final preparations. I'm Daria Albinger, Fox News. State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona is expected to be filled to capacity and then some at tomorrow's memorial for Charlie Kirk. Fox's Jeff Paul at Turning Point headquarters nearby says mourners are expected to come from far and wide.
Crowds are really starting to show up here, and we expect it to only get busier as we get closer and closer to that planned public memorial at nearby State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Now, a lot of the folks we've talked to are locals. They're from Arizona, but there's still a big